Falco was literally just talking about like your circle being yellow, and then you went green, like right as he said that.
I'm so happy. All right.
We ordered
Recap.
pizza, and it was negative 29 degrees out.
Negative 20. Is
Celsius.
Celsius. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that. So that's
I
like
don't
that's like tens or teens or something.
I will find out with this thing called
Because,
the
like,
internet.
30
It's negative 20
something.
Fahrenheit.
Ew.
What?
Yeah, negative 29. You said Celsius.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's negative 20.2 degrees Fahrenheit.
No.
Hey, have you ever considered that that's not a place any human should live?
I'm
Have you
pretty
ever
sure.
Mel? Have you considered not living in a freezer?
Okay, but this freezer has health care.
I mean, they fucking need it for how cold it gets. I'm
Okay.
They
pretty
only
sure
have
that
universal health.
that if Red like directly
With
came into
frostbite.
contact with the air and wherever Mel is right now, then Red would just immediately.
I would
I
freeze
would-
and
Red
shatter
would flash
instantly.
freeze.
I
Red
would
flash
freeze.
She would like.
Yeah.
She'd be.
She'd be like that fucking like Magic School Bus shot where Arnold takes his helmet off in space.
Crystallizes.
Red, we would both go from the liquid form to the solid form of Antarcticite.
Yeah, but with a
Then
lot more
die.
complaining.
Yeah.
Okay. Boop. That's not a boop.
Thanks,
Why did that
Sombra.
work?
My cousin
Are you implying I get a
visited here
boner
from the
in 20-degree
Philippines,
weather?
where it's always like
Hold on.
29.
Roboboy is online. Why isn't he responding to
you-
my
You do all
commands?
this. Isn't there like
You have
something?
to ask him nicely.
Did I accidentally put a like a space in there? Maybe. Huh. Well, that's
Huh.
not good.
Try removing him and then putting him back in.
I'm. Yeah, shutting it
Turning him
down.
on.
Have you turned it
Popping him back
on?
again.
Yeah.
Have you tried plugging it in?
You gotta smooth talk him.
Let me check my aliases to see if something broke.
Maybe-
Oh yeah, all of my aliases are gone. That's great.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's
What?
okay.
I was editing it earlier, adding some new playlists, and then decided, hey, I'm just going to delete everything. I have a backup.
Okay.
Okay.
That's-
My cousin was also visiting from the Philippines, where it's always positive, like 29 degrees
Thank
Celsius, and he was just like, I don't like it here.
I don't
How do
blame
you
Have
do
you
this?
have you considered not living here?
I think Mel considers that every day of his goddamn life.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I gotta re-add some shit. Why is it doing this to me? Stop doing it!
I can't believe it's done this.
Oh fuck! I can't believe you've done this. That is like my favorite. It's like that's like a goals reaction to like just anything. That's
Yeah.
Word,
like getting
word.
punched in the head and just be like, just
Yeah.
being like
Like just a casual turn and like mildly annoyed look in their face.
it's a very gentle like, oh fuck.
I love it. It's
I
really good.
can't believe it.
Done this.
I thought I could
I
trust you.
believe you've done this.
I can't believe you've done this. You've stolen my jimmies.
You've rustled
Really?
all of my jimmies now.
Oh man. They have since changed the cover, the artwork on that cereal, presumably because of that meme. Like
Aw.
back in high school, I used to like one time my friend and I like inadvertently came across it in the organic food sections as like on some
It's in the
cereal, and I'm just
organic
like, oh
food
my fucking god. Yeah, it's one of those organic cereals.
Huh. I thought it would have been like one of those fun kid cereals because it's.
No, it's. I mean, it is one of those fun cake cereals, but it's also organic for your children who are hippies.
Or for your children who you're raising to be.
Yeah. The hippie
You're
kids.
probably also feeding them unfiltered water.
unfiltered water.
No, that's a thing. Okay.
Raw
I-
milk.
No, hang on. I have to find
Oh,
this.
raw milk. My favorite thing was the one story about the guy with the thing that was like lawmakers celebrate repealing, or allowing raw milk to be legal by drinking a bunch of raw milk, and then
They
the
all
next story is that
immediately
they got really sick.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm almost got this
I
fixed.
don't even like drinking regular milk.
I love milk.
I love
I
milk.
love-
I love like byproducts
love
of milk,
lamp.
but like
I
a
love
glass of just
I
cow
love-
titty juice.
it's a glass of just basic milk. Like I don't
Yeah.
want that at all.
The
I like
worst-
chocolate milk.
Yes.
Almost fine.
Better hot
The
chocolate.
worst thing about the unfiltered water thing is
This
their
should work
marketing is like raw water, and it's like
Raw water.
raw water.
Ugh.
Raw
Okay.
water, also known
No.
as piss.
Piss juice. Okay. Okay, I think I got this working now.
Also known as dirt juice.
There's my boy.
There's the boy.
There's the boy. Okay. So, to recap what happened last time, your group finally made it to the small town of Firepoint, Hiraeth's hometown, only to find it under siege by a small warband of orcs. You did battle with the orcs, ultimately defeating the horde as well as their warband leader. Afterward, you spoke with Hiraeth's mother, Elaine, and learned that this was a first time that they had attacked, and that the town was in fact just trying to figure out what they were going to do in response to the situation. The orcs had, as of present, taken over all of the Avakian mines in the flame fields and had established a large stronghold right over the main Avakian mine in the territory about half a day away. After speaking with the town leaders, your group asked them for some time to sort of do some reconnaissance or figure out some other means before they made their decision. You were recommending to have the town evacuate. Some of them seemed on board with that, others seemed hesitant to do so, given that by doing so they'd essentially be losing a major industry in the Sapphire Highlands that would affect the entire realm. You, through Goff, managed to speak with the dead spirit of the warband leader that you slew, and you learned that the war chief of the new orcish horde, Logzul of the Evoking Hand, and that he was planning an invasion of the Southern Highlands in order to quote-unquote reclaim their heritage, their ancestral lands. So at this point, it's the following morning after your battle. You have a few hours before you would have to once again meet and speak with the town leaders, including Hiraeth's mother. You have this new information, and what do you wish to do?
Don't fucking stump me. I don't know.
I like we haven't made any progress on this from last.
Well, there's no
I'm
progress
just-
to make. We explored like every avenue I could possibly think of in terms of like learning information
Yeah, we
available to
really
us
just
within the
gotta pick
town.
one and just.
I
mean-
can I just say that like the mental image I have right now is all of us in like, I don't know, like Hiraeth's living room, just like sitting in a circle, Goff like hunched over, cross-legged or something, and then like we're all just sort of staring at each other like
I mean, yeah, like there's no. This is pretty much like pick the loss that feels less bad, because it's like
I
we-
say that
Oh.
the lives are definitely worth more than the industry.
well, sure,
Oh.
yeah. It's just like, but if we tried to like I don't think that there's any chance of us. I mean, like trying to like do a stealth thing and do a base of God knows how many orcs. I mean, we
No.
could potentially use like maybe like the mines, but like we don't even know how those are, how many things are wrong with those. We don't know if we can safely get, like, we don't know anything about that, and like there's so many orcs and there's not a lot of us, and like so-
One of them yesterday suggested that it would be possible to blow them out of the fields because the vacuum is unstable, right?
yes,
But that would also be nuking the entire industry just in case they ever wanted to go back.
That's true.
Which would have
The
like,
industry
a
could
economic
always we could always revive the industry, I think, though, right?
isn't
Well, I think
Isn't-
once you blow one spot, like the
No, I mean
blast-
I mean, if we evacuate. Sorry, not not like let's
Oh.
blow everything
Yeah,
up and
so-
it'll regrow.
yeah.
the other, and this is, I don't even know if Goff is saying this. I guess I'm saying this more as a player than as a character, but I feel like the other option of evacuation is like we basically have to bank on being able to come back and completely eradicate whatever the orcs progress they make. That sentence did not structurally make sense, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true.
Like we basically like if we evacuate and convince everybody, we would get them out of there and they would be safe potentially, but then the orcs would get the fire point and they would have all the evacuum for a bit, and we'd have to like quickly deal with whatever's going on in Crankshaft, and then try and maybe rally support from
Neighboring like
from Arcadia, maybe Evendell, I don't know, just anywhere we can, and then try and like get a force to like push the orcs back, and then we'd have to go like. But I just don't like. If I remember correctly, the vibe I was getting from most of our like solutions that would involve more direct like interference now felt like pretty much every method was a
felt
suicide.
like a suicide mission. Yeah,
It felt like everything was pretty much like pointing towards it. There was not really like a hopeful like, oh, there's a trap door here. There wasn't like anything like that. It was like, you're probably gonna die. There's like 5,000 orcs, and it's like it just
Yeah.
didn't.
even
Seems
yeah
like no matter
because
what we do, there's gonna be 5,000 orcs.
I just
My-
wish that we were all sitting at a table right now so you guys could see how I'm steepling my fingers as a plan comes into
Pure
form.
Skendo Ikari impression.
I guess because I just realized something. We know the war chief's name now.
Yeah.
oh, what is it?
I
Logs-
forgot, but we know
logs
it.
all-
Shit, I wrote it down. Where's my notes?
Logs all of
logs
you.
all-
It's literally
Yeah.
still in the chat from 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
Yeah, we know his name. We did use scry on him.
Now,
You tried to, it failed because you don't know what he looks like.
Well, yeah, we tried.
Goff, remind me how message works. You have to have met somebody before. You just have to know their name.
Sending. I'm pretty sure I need to have met them.
Do you?
Let me,
I thought you
let me
just knew their
check.
name.
You send a short message of 25 words or less to a creature with which you are familiar. I don't think I would count as familiar with him.
That's some vague wording.
I don't think I could get away with that. I know his name. I've never seen him once in person.
Say
Well,
his
you know
name.
how-
Say his name.
you know how we could get familiar with him? We could go and see with a smaller party.
I don't feel
I'm
good about
I'm
that.
personally on board with that one because I feel like even just as like a minor reconnaissance mission, even
Yeah.
if we don't accomplish anything, we can at least get some more information. And didn't Squirrel be able to tell us
we
to
already-
get more info?
That's true. Also, I
We're
will
talking about
say
going to their fortress, right? Because I thought we already said that was a bad idea because we're a bunch
Everything's a
of non-orcs
bad
going
idea.
to a...
I will say Ellen is on board. I am not.
I'm going to say I'm not, and if it was just us dealing with the orc situation, I might be more interested. But we need to deal with crankshaft.
We have an entire
Like
Oh.
half of Hirai's family is here, but the other half is up there. So
Well, I'll go with you. Go with.
Uh,
I'm just putting out what I personally am on board for.
Like, ultimately, everything about this makes me feel bad. So I'm just, this is.
That's
this
war,
is-
baby.
This is. I think
That's
this
how it is on the
that's
This is
just how it
crazy.
is on
Bitch
this
of a
bitch
nerd.
of a Furtoon.
Bitch of a realm. Yeah.
This is Haraith's wheelhouse, and I'm mostly looking towards Haraith sides.
yeah.
Yeah.
Orc.
Yeah. This is ultimately like her family. So
So
And also
this is-
her family's livelihood as well. So
Yeah.
it's all connected. So
So this is my plan.
I'll turn him into a flea.
I'll turn it into a flea, a tiny little flea. My plan is, first I need to convince the denizens of Firepoint to be ready to leave. We might also want to discuss sabotaging the paths up I don't expect it will stop the orcs entirely, but it might slow them long enough to give us a little bit of time. We need to send somebody to my map, the Ire, here, to the east. We basically need to get all the people that might be in their warpath when they first climb the wall up towards the north. And this is not going to be a permanent situation. This is just to fall back, so that they don't immediately get beset upon by the reaches the top of the wall. Then I think we need to deal with Crankshaft as quickly as we can. We'll have to try to not make it a very long endeavor, because we're going to be having everybody waiting for us north of here. I just think that during this time we can try to see if Squirrelbeard can offer any help, if there's anything else that can be done. And then we muster our forces and we deal with the horde to the south as we go to reclaim what we momentarily set back from. But the reason why I thought it might be worthwhile to try to communicate with the war chief is because they obviously have their own strong feelings about what they're trying to reclaim. I thought that maybe we could
negotiate,
if not try to figure out some kind of other terms without going to all-out war, but that's the current plan I have now.
Do orcs negotiate in this realm?
You don't know.
I mean, I get the idea.
You've never met any orc war bands beyond this first experience.
Are there any, like, stories about...
I mean, the fact that I don't think we can really apply any of the stories because this guy has already, like, brought together a bunch of warring tribes.
Yeah, I mean, like, are there stories about past war chiefs?
You know from the histories that past war chiefs who have managed to unite the warring tribes have gone on just great conquests. The last great war 500 years ago, where the orcs nearly took over the Tranquil Vale and were only stopped because of the invention of firearms. Basically, that was at the behest of a war chief. So most of the history's knowledge of it is that they are particularly bloodthirsty. You don't get the sense... There's something different about this one from what has been described by what you heard about what his motivations are.
Well, at least it's worth talking to him, and even if we can't figure out some kind of agreement, we can always try to... I don't know if they would agree to a battle of champions, but if the two forces are equally matched, they might.
Heraith, how many times in a row can you cast, your blinky magic, your,
Dimension Door?
Yes.
Well, I don't know exactly what number, and I could do it a number of times in a row. Why?
I was just thinking, if we could, if the two of us go in there and, go and try to speak to him in person. I was wondering if, like, I have my flight, you have your dimension door. We could possibly just run out at the first sign of trouble.
That's not particularly how it works. I'm just not sure I would be comfortable in doing that. She's been pretty cavalier about it, but she did almost, like, get fucked up by, like, a small group of orcs recently, so, like, I don't think she's willing to go into, like, a massive hive of them right now.
That's
I think
true.
if we try to communicate with the leader, we're going to have to find some other way to do so. We can get a message to him either physically or some other way. We can try and figure something out.
How loud can your illusions
Also, I
be?
can't talk to orcs.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
so wait,
That's why I was thinking that we would have Goth do message or sending because he can speak Orcish.
Oh,
The only one
haha.
who can.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think I can send a message to him. No.
But what if
Well,
he rolls
does send-
really
does-
What's
high?
his email?
I don't even know if sending really matters about what language you can speak. It might.
It doesn't.
I'm assuming it just sends a thought and then
Yes.
it's
It's a short
communicative.
message of 25 words or less. That's all
And
it is.
then, but
They
what
hear
if
the
he
message
just?
in their mind. They recognize.
So they understand the meaning.
They recognize you as the sender if it knows you. That says to me you don't necessarily have to have met them before. So, with which you're familiar with this person. You could give it a shot and see if it works.
But I don't really want to do that now. That's something that I would want to do once we're ready to speak.
When we're safe.
Yeah, and we're
We're
not.
in a better position, yeah.
This would be to set up a meeting when we have dealt with what we need to deal with up north, and we turn around and we're ready to deal with this problem.
I mean, I'll try it whenever you want me to try it. At this point, I'm ready to accept the lesser of two evils, whatever that one might be. I'm.
Hillary Clinton.
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
yeah, if you want to compare just like a corrupt politician to a literal fucking Cheeto demon, I mean, that's we can go down that rabbit hole if you like. Anyway, yeah, I'm whatever. I guess I just want all of this to be resolved. This is so stressful.
Same.
so what are you doing?
I mean, I've already said my plan. If everybody's into it, I guess we will
I'm
speak
in-
to the people.
yeah.
I'm in.
Could you
I'm
repeat
in.
it? I'm sorry. Like, so is it your plan to just
We take everybody, move them up north just long enough so they won't all be like killed once the orcs come over the wall in the next days, I guess. We might.
we don't even know
collapse.
when. Yeah.
No, we have no idea. And then we just try to get what's happening in Crankshaft figured out long enough, like soon enough that we can like muster forces up north and back down south.
Should we do anything to slow the orc's progress?
I mean, that's why I said we could collapse the two, like, kind of the trails up the wall. There's like two of them.
Yes.
But I'm also thinking that we delegate that and sending a messenger to the Erie to people from Firepoint because we can't really do all this stuff. We gotta get going to Crankshaft.
Yeah. True. I
And
wonder.
Crankshaft, having Crankshaft free will definitely free us for a stronger bargaining position. Like,
It's like one of two things. Either the situation there is something that will be able to be salvageable and we might be able to get some backup, or the situation there is much worse than we thought and we can't depend on that. At least we can fall back into the city once we've dealt with whatever's happening.
Yeah, if we can
The
find
city's
a
fortified,
teleportation
yes?
circle.
I don't remember what were the messages I sent. I send it.
You sent
What?
a message to.
I remember I sent one to Anna and I sent one to Alonzo, but I remember telling them this is the
Need
situation. But
advice and need help.
I don't know like if they're because that affects everybody. So I'm trying to figure out. Well, maybe
So-
not Evendell, but it affects everyone in like Arcadia.
Oh, it affects Evendell. Their guide stones are use of Akium,
Okay.
so
Well,
no one's getting around a forest anymore.
So that's important to everyone that the orcs don't just like take this over, but I don't because it's sending such a short messaging platform. It's so limited. I'm trying to figure out like
in 140 characters or
I'm trying to
less.
figure out like well, and plus Anna was like, oh, we don't want
Shit,
to.
what if I modified it so it's 104? What if it's
It's a
what if
tweet.
it's Twitter?
That's way more.
Oh my god.
No, that's too. Thinking about how many characters is way more complicated than how many words.
Okay,
you
yeah, I
know?
know. Well, it's 280 now. They doubled it now.
Oh yeah.
I'm concerned about like. Anna also said that she was like she didn't want to send anyone because of like political reasons, which is
She
frustrating.
said that it would be difficult, but if you really feel it's important, she can send some people.
I mean, this is important to everybody. So when they want to,
She, it's you were right when you said the sending is a very limited platform. It's not like you could fully explain the situation to her
It would be good to
and how
warn
bad it
people
is.
beforehand, if that's the route we're taking.
what would you say?
It would be good to warn people beforehand if that's the route we're taking, just so nobody freaks out and is like, oh god, another army's marching on us.
Yeah. Okay. So
True.
that's assuming we're gonna be fleeing north today and hopefully not fighting more orcs. I'll be willing to spend more sending spells on my spell points. So God, I really need to get a fucking item that lets me do this as much as I want. This communication thing is hard. I can send things to like Alonzo and Anna, and I guess that's it. I don't know who else. Maybe. Is there someone we know in Zephyr? Because we're not going to Zephyr. We're going straight to Crankshaft from here.
No, you don't know anyone in Zephyrins.
Well, I guess.
Why are we sending to them again? Didn't we already talk to them? Not.
No.
About the other
If we
two.
decide, I'm saying if we decide to retreat. I realized that we don't need to send anything to them because if we're retreating and we convince people of this town to go north, they're going to go there anyway. So they're going to tell anyone they can. But if we decide to do this plan, it does not require direct action right now, and probably also death. I will send things to Anna and Alonzo again and be like, hey, so this is happening, and tell them that the orcs are going to be gaining ground, probably, and that's a problem that we're trying to deal with, but we can't right now, or something. I don't know. So I can do that, and alert them to the fact that this is a situation that's going to be going to get worse before it gets better, basically.
We just
So
can't
that-
really, at least with Anna told us pretty directly that she won't really be able to lend like direct help because there's the kind of like a meddling in the affairs of another nation. So
Well, what she said was that she can't send like the full force of the Arcadian military, but what you can do is send some small groups of trained personnel and magic users.
were we saying that they would be sending them through teleportation though? Because
Yeah,
if
they
they're
teleport
doing-
in.
Yeah, if we're doing that, we need to get to the circle in Crankshaft anyway.
No. Teleport as a spell doesn't need a circle.
Okay. Sorry, I was
No,
thinking about circles.
we considered like having Anna and maybe Alonzo send. I don't know what Alonzo would do. I don't know if he'd send people or if he'd send animals or what he would send.
He'd send some druids on the back of flying eagles. It'd be like some Lord of the Rings shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but like even with some platoons of people, we'd still be outnumbered, and we would be getting a lot of people killed if we were to do something right now. I feel like we would just not. I don't know. I feel like
yeah, if we strike, we have to make sure we have a good chance of winning.
Yeah, I feel like to ask people to join us in a mission against, like, to attack and take out or whatever. We don't have enough info or a trump card to do that. Like, we don't have anything. We basically be going blind in and asking people to like sacrifice their lives for a fucking hunch. Like, it's just not. I mean, sometimes that happens, I guess, but we're not back against the wall yet, so I don't think we need to do that necessarily. And that could we could potentially save more lives by,
especially if it's possible to, because we've heard that like this guy is not the same like bloodthirsty.
the same level of bloodthirsty.
Well,
yeah.
I feel like there might be some bloodthirst involved. He's just a little less wild about it and more calculated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has a
Like,
lot of
if we
charisma,
can-
probably.
If we can like get him to back off his bloodthirst.
I meant that in a literal sense, by the way, not like a character sheet sense.
Yeah.
I'm the one with all the charisma around here.
I think we have
Well.
the same charisma score. Sees you.
Yeah, but Wraith has all the expertise.
That's
I have a
true.
charisma.
Man,
eight.
at level 10 I get more expertise and I'm so excited.
Ugh.
Bards and rogues, man.
Bards.
They're really
Rogues.
gross. Bars are the best.
I have a staff.
Yeah, your staff's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why did I?
I can fly.
Yeah, why am I letting everyone fly and do shit?
Hey, I can't fly yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Your eye doesn't
Get a
want to.
grappling hook.
you have a sorcerer who could make you fly.
That's
Everybody's
true, but I
going to
don't
be
have that
flying
spell.
one day, and Hirai's just going to be like
I thought you
running,
did.
keep out. Yeah, but
Well, you could always sit in the broom with Sissel.
that's that's still scary. I get the feeling that like whenever Hirai's on the broom with Sissel, she just kind of like hugs her and then like
Just
buries
sort
her
of
face into her
white-knuckling
back, so she doesn't see what's going on.
So
Well, if everybody's down with that plan,
If that's the plan, I think it lies mostly on you to convince the people in this town they gotta go.
Yeah. Let's
that's
take
what
the
my
rest of
that's what my expertise in persuasion comes in.
this bitch.
If only I could inspire myself. I'm
Is
not
it
scared.
they're on college for that.
Yeah,
Is it-
that's only a lore bard.
is it to be inferred that part of the reason the orcs have been able to like get away with this is because Crankshaft is all fucked right now?
Because there haven't been any crankshaft regular patrols down here, and also they haven't really faced any armed opposition. Like the mines have guards, but not really heavily armed.
Well,
And-
no. I mean, like, have the orcs? I guess we don't know this for sure, but like, would it be pretty likely the orcs have felt more capable and empowered of doing this because
You don't know. You don't know.
Okay.
All you know is that they've basically taken over all these mines. Strangely, though, there hasn't been a single casualty or fatality among any of the civilians or guards. Some of the guards got injured. That's
Did the like? I guess we don't know what if the orcs specifically left them alive.
yeah, you don't know. But
But that
Not a
orc
single
war
person
chief,
died.
the warband the warband leader.
Very
I'm pretty
nearly
sure-
killed him.
I'm pretty sure he wanted to kill Haraith.
seemed that way.
Seems that way.
I had an insight check on him.
But no
Did
one-
it seem
no one-
that way?
No, well, you didn't insight check for that.
I know.
Um,
I
No,
insight
no one in
checked.
the town was injured or killed. None of the town members. They're all
Well,
hiding.
that's certainly very weird.
Oh,
I mean,
They just
Yeah,
attacked
that's
guys.
that's what makes me like. That's what makes me like not want to go straight to like murdering all the orcs.
well, that's why I was saying that we try to talk to them.
Yeah.
But I also think that we don't have time to do that right now. I
Yeah,
think we should
I
do it later.
feel like we don't have enough cards in our hand. I feel like if Crankshaft is
Mhm.
freed of its whatever bullshit the key is doing to Crankshaft, then we
Yeah.
could
And if nothing else, we
potentially have-
can keep an eye out for, like, whatever, whatchamacallit, the fuck circle, the, teleportation circle. in
fuck
Crank-
circle.
in
Fuck
Crank-
circle.
in Crankshaft. What is happening on this map?
Goff
It's
is,
getting bigger!
Goff is gonna turn the planet into dust with his spirit bomb.
He's too powerful. But yeah.
Take my energy.
The Healy
You guys
boy
can't
does
see me.
700 d6 healing.
Jesus Christ.
700 d20 damage.
Oh my god.
Oh god. What is
Ugh.
the average of that?
But yeah, we can keep an eye out for the teleportation circle, and assuming we find it, and Crankshaft isn't entirely fucked, if we have to, I don't know, we'll have an out just in case. That is nearby.
Mhm. Just a fortified city is something good.
Assuming the city is not entirely fucked.
I just wish there was a way.
Well,
like-
sorry, the city is fortified. Like, I just want to double check. It's like, is it fortified? Is it like something built to withstand sieges, or is
Roscoe.
it like
Which city?
crankshaft hold?
Crankshaft is. I mean, I'm personally just
It's
imagining.
built into the side of a mountain.
Okay, so
Think about it.
I'm just thinking of like Ironforge from WoW, which
I was imagining the Dragon Age, because like yeah,
Oh, that's underground though, isn't it?
yeah,
It's not. It's built within a mountain.
okay,
It's fairly fortified.
okay. So like, it's a good place to like send retreating dwarves to. Is
Assuming
What I'm-
it's not under quarantine, yeah.
yeah, like if we yeah.
Plus, you got the impression from the warband leader that they were not looking to go up that far.
Hmm.
They were probably going to stop just short of Crankshaft.
They want the Southern Highlands.
Yeah.
Man, like this is
Yeah.
this is the whole thing with them trying to take back their ancestral homelands. It makes this a lot like if they weren't so conquesty and bloodthirsty, that would make this pretty like a morally complex.
That's what I'm scared of. What if it is actually super morally complex?
Well, the thing is that the Avaki, like it's like this is the only location the Avaki mine, and that's important to like everybody. So that's like where that gets complex. Yeah, this is yeah. I mean, maybe this orc is more chill and willing to talk, but how are we going to get to him without dying? We don't really have it. I have exhausted all my potential options.
Do we have a picture of it?
You tried, you didn't get it.
Yeah.
Ah,
didn't
the
work.
oh yeah,
scrying
we tried
failed.
to scry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was not here for a lot of.
Well, if nothing else, we can go to the crankshaft and do what we can.
And hold.
I hate this.
Well, time to
Well,
let's get
like,
let's
we
get
should
this over with.
circle the wagons.
Yep.
Okay. So after sitting around in Hiraith's living room having this intense discussion, you see the door slam open and Elaine walks in, sort of pulling her cloak a little around her. And she looks at a lot of you and she says, "Oh, look at all these serious faces. Have you discovered something?"
Just been talking for quite a long time about our hand in the events of the world. I think that we're about ready to. I think we're about ready to talk to the village about our decision on how we need to do this.
What were you thinking?
I'm thinking that we're going to have to take everybody up north, and I don't want it to sound like we're abandoning this town. I just think that we need to fall back until we have enough force to to deal with the orcs. I'm not sure we can hold anything here. It's too dangerous.
Well, I would agree with you. I don't think we should be here. I do think it would be nice if we could avoid another Veil War,
Hmm.
which might be where this is heading, but I think Missouri would also be agreeable to that. Darmond might be a little more difficult. And the foreman, he will also be difficult, but I'll go get them. We'll gather in the town square, and you can say your piece.
All right. Thanks, Mom.
She heads back out. So we'll say in about 15 minutes, you guys can head out and meet the town leaders if there's anything else you want to discuss or prepare before you do so. Otherwise, we can just move on to that.
And this is where I would inspire myself if I was a lore bard.
You were a lore bard.
I want to clarify this for my own knowledge. We do want to try to communicate on a non-violent level with the war chief, right? At some point,
At
not
some
right
Yes.
away.
point, yeah.
So we want it. So that's something that we're going to probably do after Crankshaft has been dealt with.
Mhm. Also, non-violent communication works much better when you're not in fear of your life.
Right. So I just wanted. So like that's something we're going to try to do. We're just not trying to do it right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so after about 15 minutes, you make your way outside toward the town square. Gathered around the kind of the small fountain in the center of the town, you see the dwarves from the night before, along with your mother. You see Foreman Ironbelly, who is sort of the rough-looking dwarf with the just soot and dirt all over him. You also see Darmond Hammerhand, which was the elderly-looking male dwarf, and Missouri Iron Eater, who was the very elderly but also sort of elegant and patient young old dwarf woman who you spoke to the night before. And they see you approach, and Missouri nods her head toward you. She says, "Young Steel Song, you grace us with your presence again. Have you found out something new?"
A few things, and there are also a few things that I wish I'd found out that eluded me, but I think we have a little more information.
By all means. Regale us.
There's no way to anticipate when the orcs are going to attack. Could be a week, could be in a few hours. We don't know. We can't anticipate their movements. So, it's my opinion that for the longevity of Firepoint as a people and not as a landmark, we need to evacuate north. Not permanently, just long enough so that we can try to figure out what's going on Crankshaft and try to build our own forces large enough to deal with what the orcs will eventually bring to bear against us. That's my opinion of what we should be doing.
We have. I'm just going to mention. Should we mention that we've spoken to Anna?
Yeah, we could probably mention that we've Hiraitha's turn to confer with her with her companions.
Sorry, yeah.
Her advisors.
We've spoken with the leaders in Arcadia and in Evandel, try and see if they could lend us help, and they might be able to lend us small forces which could help, our cause against the Orc Horde. But I don't think that we should do this fight here, because I anticipate that the wall will be a great help to us, but until it's not, and then after that defense has been broken, I feel like we will not have enough forces to hold it. We'll only be facing losses. So I feel like we should hold this contest in a different theater.
Well, it would be nice to avoid war. It would be nice to avoid conflict. I think it might be inevitable with the orcs.
We were
But there's-
planning on trying to get some kind of... We learned the name of the war chief. We're trying to figure out
Did
if
you
there's
now?
any... yes, and I've forgotten what it is.
Logzan of the Evoking
Log-
Hand. Logzal? Logzan?
Loxol.
Logzal.
His
Legborn?
name is
Lysol.
Bloodborne?
Leghorn?
His name is...
Bloodborne.
Now that you said Lysol, now I think that's what it is.
Logzol.
Sorry.
Logzol. His name is Logzol of the Evoking Hand.
Well,
But
there is some sense in your suggestion. I still think that we should get aid and come back here. Certainly the Hammerhands, and she shoots a glance at the older man who has kind of been looking surly the whole time, doing this sort of like one eye squint. Are in a disagreement, but I think the safety of our town is priority over lost wages. Can't spend money if you're dead.
That's true. I agree.
Well, I would be willing to agree with you. I don't know where where we should go. Is the path to Zephyrins clear? Is it safe?
We traveled it recently, and your eyes momentarily weighs whether or not to mention that they were beset upon by assassins.
Yeah,
That
they were
was
only after me. They'll
They
be
weren't
safe.
after y'all.
They were specifically after one person in our specific group, so that doesn't really count, I don't think.
When we traveled the path, we didn't see any kind of threats that would endanger the common traveler.
Well, there have been tales of late of creatures from the convergence appearing, but I'm sure if we get the mining guards prepared, they'll be able to defend us. And she thinks for a moment, and she looks over at Darmond, Hammerhand again, and she then looks back at you and kind of like winks and says, "Leave him to me." Then she turns to the foreman. She says, "Singrid, prepare your men to pack up and leave. It's time we quit this town while we still have our lives." Very well. I suppose we'll start packing.
I did want to mention, we will most likely have to be setting out a slightly different path, going straight to Crankstaff to try to deal with that problem as soon as possible, but we were saying that it might be a good idea to send some to block the paths up and down the paths cut to traverse the Black Climb, so we could slow down the orcs that way, at least for a little while, and also to send someone to the Odar's Eyrie, try and see if we can get them to move up north as well.
Yes, I believe we can send a courier. And at that point, the foreman kind of cracks his knuckles. He says, I believe we can cause a few avalanches on the path. I'll have to clear them off later if we ever take the town back, but that should slow them down.
Alright, thank you.
And they at this point disperse and begin heading off to their homes. Your mother approaches you and starts sort of fussing with your hair and
Well, I can do my own hair.
I know, but I don't have a lot of time to see you these days.
I know. I've been trying to keep in contact as much as
I know. But you have adventures to go on.
Oh, you know, adventures to go on, cities to save, evils to fight.
Is this in your college curriculum? That's why that's why you went to Arcadia in the first place, right?
Aye, the College of Valor. We travel to do great stories to sing of. It's all
Remind
it's
me of your grandfather.
It's a directed study.
Anyway, I get your brother, and we better start packing.
Oh,
Why don't you go through? Why don't you pack anything you need and go through your father's office while you're at it, see if there's anything useful.
All right.
Next time we'll be back here.
Okay, I will.
Okay. She gives you a little kiss on the forehead and walks back inside.
Oh.
You just got moms.
Ellen is up to the side going, same.
Goff does that thing where someone folds their fingers together and kind of cocks their head a little bit, like an
Here I looks down for a minute and then looks back at everybody and is like, "What are you staring at? Come on, let's go and look around." I have to keep reminding myself that she's like 18 in dwarf years, or she's not old.
She's a
How old is
dwarf
Wraith
baby.
again?
I think I changed it at one point because she was too young, but she's like 42, so she's still like really young for a dwarf.
Yeah, you're probably close to 20, 21.
Okay, yeah.
Technically older than Goff though, and he's middle-aged.
It's really fucked up that most people are older than Goff.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but like,
Sissel's not.
I assume
Yeah.
dwarves also like emotionally mature slower. So she's been on the planet longer than you, but you have more
I
wisdom.
thought that they like
How
matured
old
about
is
the
Goff?
same speed.
I don't remember.
Goff is 40.
Oh, yeah.
How does dwarf brain development work?
How
I feel
is
like
dwarf
if
frame formed?
I feel like if you're like physically maturing at an older age, you would also emotionally mature at an older age.
That's
I feel
true.
like it's the same.
Maybe, yeah. I'm sure that the Wizards
these
of the
are-
Coast can tell us.
Yeah, at Wizards of the Coast, please
It's
enlighten.
it's actually probably in the book. I just don't remember.
Chris Perkins, tell us.
At Mike Merles, tell me. Okay, so what do you want to do at this point?
Well, she said to go get stuff out of my room and also check Dad's office, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to go check my room first.
Okay. So you get to your room.
I'm gonna roll to clean my room.
Yeah. Describe your room. Describe a little bit of Hiraeth's personality
Oh God,
as seen in her room.
I'm trying. It's like I have to think about how she was a few years ago because she's
Describe her
changed a bit.
aesthetic.
Describe her embarrassing
Are there-
dwarf
are-
phases.
Are there posters of Deep Chris on the wall?
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Is
Would
Deep
Deep-
Chris
would Deep
known
Chris-
this far out?
Yeah, would Deep Chris have gotten this far?
Yeah, he's a legend.
Deep Chris.
How is
he
his
tours.
music? How is his music like? Are there like? Is there like a phonograph? Like how is it played?
He has a.
There's magic. This is
It's
a
just
world
a
where
magic.
magic exists.
No,
Come
the-
on.
the-
You just-
You have an
There's-
Avakium MP3 player?
there's-
Oh my god.
I mean, I canonized
it's an iPod.
through my brief campaign that was set in the academy and the stuff. I canonized that there was like a music playing device
Oh yeah,
that was
there's music playing.
powered. I mean, if I hadn't already canonized it, like I specifically said that Vim Tango had that in his like little room.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember now.
So like there's like
So
magic stereos and like
Describe us Hiraeth's room.
Okay. Well, first off, Goff has to duck to come in because, of course, you're still in a dwarf household. Usually, when someone is about to depart on a journey, if they have better instincts than Hiraeth does, they would choose to clean up. Hiraeth never did before she left, and she's not exactly what one would call the tidiest person. All surfaces, including the largest shelf, the floor, are kind of covered. are
what
covered
it is.
in a very interesting pattern of clutter. One that at first is kind of overwhelming. There's all kinds of pages with like either sketches of something or something written, and some things that look like notes, like things that are written in the form of prose or written in the form of poetry. There's multiple different types, symbols, all sorts of stuff on pages, books lying around. There's bits and pieces of metal, certain things that have been welded together. It looks like you see some of like the first few, like her first attempts at working with metal. But once you start looking a little bit more, you realize that there's kind of an odd assortment. There's reason behind all the chaos. She keeps things in places that she knows that they are. So you will notice that there's one shelf that holds a lot more of these like earlier pieces of metalwork, not only like things that could be weapons, but also just like weird little things that resemble animals or don't really resemble anything at all, that had these odd like geographical patterns in 3D that she worked in. The walls have various things hanging from them. There are like a few banners that she's hung from the wall that she just seemed to like paint on with like a broad brush, and it's not really like anything representative. It's mostly just like some words here and there, and just like something that maybe might have some kind of sense to her, but it doesn't really look like it has any sense to anybody else. And there are a few posters on the wall for various musical groups. Deep Chris is there, I have to say. I think she would love Deep Chris's stuff.
I mean,
I'm
she's a
so
metalworking dwarf, and he plays it in a genre that is largely metal. So
It's
Yeah,
true.
exactly. And the closet is still partially ajar, and you can't really see much else besides just it looks like there's a lot of instruments in there. Like, she only brought a few that were small, but it looks like she might have had more and might have actually been trying to build more or invent more at some point. But
Any particular
I have to remember.
sentimental instruments? Anything that's of particular importance to Heraith?
I'm trying to remember what her.
Her
Because
favorite instrument.
the
'Cause,
The one that she took with her was because I said I wanted her to have a harmonica because it's easier to carry, and I always think that it would be weird if you see somebody hauling around like a lute or something. But I think probably the one that she likes the most is that she has like an older viol that was passed down her family, so it's like a really small violin, and she had to leave that here. So that's also.
I once had to perform a song called "Strike the Viol, Touch the Lute."
Oh,
what?
oh my god.
what
That's-
just happened?
That's intense.
Okay. Well, everything is as you left it. Your mother didn't even tidy up in here. She just left it as.
she
Well,
she probably was
she-
like,
yeah,
She
she
has
and she was just
created
like-
this house. She can.
she did like the Grandpa Simpson thing where she just walked in and then
It would turn around and walk.
Got some bad news about that cup of coffee you left before you left.
as you, I don't think
no.
she leaves out anything that would putrefy or fester. It's mostly just like.
putrefied.
She's
That's a deeper
unorganized,
song.
not-
As you guys enter the room, here I only look slightly embarrassed and is just kind of like shoving stuff out of the way to give you guys more room to stand.
Goff. Okay, how is Goff navigating in this room?
He's
Goff
probably just like
He's probably
standing-
standing in the hallway.
He's probably just like peeking in from the hallway, not actually going in because it's probably too small for him.
Yeah, the actual door frame would probably be a really difficult squeeze for Goff.
Here I stands like in the middle of all the mess, and she like scratches the back of her head, and she's like, I'm remembering why I didn't take most of this. It's not really the kind of stuff you could throw in a pack and get on the road with, you know? And she like tries to straighten up a few loose pages, but it's like,
Are there
It's a lost cause.
yeah,
Are there
it's
any-
You see Roscoe start digging around in some of it.
Are there any
Careful,
shelves
Roscoe.
Are there any shelves near the door that have anything on them?
there are probably some. I'm
Like,
trying to
is there a shelf like that has like little like any of the little metalwork sculptures by the front, like the door? Like,
yeah, sure.
I just want Goff to like kind of like peek just his head and like one arm in and just find one and just like start looking at it, like pick it up and just be like, oh.
Just be careful. There might be, there might be sharp edges. I can't.
I
Make
steer
any
tackle
promises.
away from the
Goff's
shelves.
Goff's entire like body is calloused. It's probably
That's true.
fine.
Goff's probably fine. I don't want like Roscoe to dig into a pile of something and get his nose poked.
You see Roscoe actually pull his head out of a pile and he's got a pan flute in his mouth. And you hear like
Watch out, Hirek. Looks like you got a student.
I'm sorry, that really just hit me. I don't know.
What with Roscoe? You want to learn how to play an instrument? You want to become a bard?
he wags his tail.
Goff
Are you going to back me up?
Goff just sticks his arm in just by itself with a thumbs up.
He spits it out and there's all dog slobber on it.
I'll be able to clean it.
Roscoe should play the two drums and just wag his tail between both of them.
Oh my god.
like one of those like what are those drums where you hit the pedestal and it hits the drum with
The bass drum?
Yeah, it's just a bass drum
Okay.
Yeah.
with a pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything you're taking particularly, or are you just
I'm gonna kind of look through what looks to be kind of like a bookshelf for a minute, and I'm going to pull out some old, not old, but older leather-bound notebooks that I seem to have forgotten, and they're mostly just like, just kind
All
of
the
they're kind of
Bard College textbooks.
all my Bard no, it's mostly like she would jot down ideas of like certain things to try to make in there, and she forgot them when she left because it was just an oversight. She was thinking about stuff she would immediately need for Bard school, and this wasn't really part of it. So she wants to hold on to those. And hey, Goff, do you mind putting something in the bag?
He just gives a thumbs up from out the hallway.
I'm gonna get the veal that I left behind and put it in the bag because I wasn't able to take it.
Okay.
Gonna get some sweet jams.
Well, I could have, but she didn't want to like be carrying around a instrument case all the time. She's lazy.
Okay.
But now that we have a magical bag,
Yeah.
I need a magical instrument bag so I can just. Dude,
Oh,
imagine
man,
me.
I'm
Imagine.
I'm gonna homebrew one of those.
Imagine me casting animate objects on an entire like a
or
bunch
an
of
entire
instruments.
orchestra.
Just like
my
yes.
God.
an orchestra all by myself. I know that's
That
probably
would
not
work.
how animate objects is
I
supposed
would
to work, but
homebrew it to let it work.
Homebrew.
That's-
homebrew.
Homebrew.
Okay.
My name is
Home
Steve
Steve.
Homebrew.
Steve Homebrew.
That's what I call it when I run Dungans and Drummond.
Damn song. Okay. All right.
And once I've done that, I guess we can go look around in Dad's study.
Okay. You get up to your father's study. The door is closed, and you sort of recall that.
Recool.
Thanks.
What do you coolly recall?
You recall when you were younger, you did spend a lot of time in here while your father was working on whatever correspondence he was involved in, or drafting up schematics for various weapons and armor. But as you got older, you didn't. This area seemed sort of closed off to you. Your father used it as a place of solitude, so you haven't been in here in quite some time.
Okay, do I roll to investigate what, or do I look around, or what would I be?
So you head inside. So as you get inside, it's actually a fairly clean environment, at least compared to your room. The desk at the far end of the study is cluttered with various papers. Although you do notice what look to be a few picture frames of you and your brothers and your mother.
Oh.
There are a number of bookshelves that have a variety of books ranging from history of the realm to various treatises on metalsmithing. If you want to just sort of look the area over to see if there's anything of note or interest, I would say give me an investigation check, and you
My
can
best
get
score.
some assistance from someone to give you advantage if you want, or you guys can all handle it individually. I'll allow up to, if you want to handle it individually, I'll allow up to 2 people to make investigation rolls. And we'll take.
I'm probably not even in the room, so I don't think it's fair for me
I
to
can
roll that.
make. I can
Yeah,
help
looks at Ellen.
make one.
I'm wondering if it
Yeah.
will be better if just me and Ellen roll separately, and Ellen can use her own modifier because I don't have a good investigation. So even if I get advantage, it probably won't be good.
Okay. It's entirely up to you.
So I will invite Ellen to help me snoop around because we've been
Okay.
offered.
Yes.
Well, I rolled a natural 20 actually.
Well, there you,
Well,
Okay.
there you go. What the fuck ever?
Jesus
Hello,
fucking
my name
Christ.
is Belle, and I have a plus 12. Oh my god, to a 19.
That's disgusting.
God.
What the fuck?
what
Mel?
is your total? Wraith, what is your total? The natural 20 plus
A 1.
plus 1. Okay, so 21
Yeah.
out of 31. Okay.
Is there anything impossible to find in this room?
No.
Because Ellen's found it.
Oh man, I need Ellen around.
You do find one of the drawers on the desk is locked, the bottom drawer. And it's strange because all of the other drawers on the desk are unlocked, and when you searched through them, you just found sort of routine paperwork, writing utensils and so on. It looked like before your father left, he was writing some correspondence to some contacts in Arcadia and in Crankshaft Hold, because he was looking into some thefts of Vakian ore from their storehouses.
Interesting. And so, besides that, all we found was the locked drawer.
The locked drawer, yes.
Is it
What?
okay?
It's not trapped, if that's what you're asking. I don't think.
No, I mean,
Right.
I'm asking Hooray, because, like, this is her dad's
okay.
drawer.
Yeah, you can't just go snooping in someone's dad's drawers.
Wow.
I mean, she's thinking about it. Like,
I won't do it unless you...
usually this wouldn't be something that I'd be worried about, but since we've come into contact with Evakian, and I've just heard several worrying things about what I feared would go back to my family or Firepoint or someone around here. So I feel like if there's something he might have been hiding, since we're going into that situation soon anyway, we might as well figure it out what it is now.
Alright.
Ellen
So,
rolls her plus 16. Oh!
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Plus 18?
Yeah. Because of,
thank
because of
you,
those
Berna.
gloves. Yeah.
We've
So-
broken Mel. Like, Ellen is beyond broken.
I'll find a way to unbreak
It's all right.
it.
I'm not
Don't worry about it.
broken.
Don't worry about it. Eventually, you're going to get
I
a
don't-
lot of attunement items, and you. I mean, does that require attunement? Those gloves? I think they do.
I think
No,
so,
they're,
yeah.
they're Walden. Aren't they Walden items?
No, they are not.
Nope,
the
they're
gloves of
Rena's,
Fury
yeah.
are things
Okay.
that Berna bought at a store, at a market. Okay, you pop the desk open. The desk lock was a very mundane lock that you find routinely situated on these kinds of desks. It probably honestly could have been smashed open with a good swift blow. You open it up, and it's mostly empty except for two items. You find a picture frame that has been placed face down, and you find what looks to be a small signet ring.
I will. I feel like I'm playing Life is Strange again. I'm like, which item am I going to look at first? I'm going to inspect the signet first.
It's a simple brass ring. On the ring itself is what looks to be a lightning bolt overlaying what looks to be like a starburst, like a
Ooh.
star exploding.
Oh,
That sounds fucking cool.
I thought
Do I
Starburst is
recognize this?
You've seen this kind of thing before. You saw it a very long time ago when you were investigating the Chancellor's office back in Arcadia on the night of the murder, and you were glancing over various correspondence that Chancellor Stormoak had been writing. You saw the same image on his seal, the wax seal that he would use to officiate documents.
Hey.
You didn't pay it any mind at the time, but there it is again.
So it seems to have been like the personal seal of the Chancellor.
Of Chancellor Stormoak, yeah.
Okay. Do I sense any magic to
No.
the item? Okay. Well, I'm wondering if I should hold on to it. I guess I'll hold on to it.
So you have the Chancellor's ring.
All right, and I'll look at the mysterious photograph.
Okay, you pull the photograph up and you take a good look at it, and there's two figures in the photograph. One of them is your father, and the other one is your father looks younger in this picture. It looks probably about 30 years ago. And there is another man in this photo. He's a human man. He looks fairly young, probably. In this picture, he looks about in his early 30s. Full head of brown hair, very bright blue eyes, spectacles. He looks familiar. We've seen this person before, although not this young.
Is this the Chancellor?
Yeah,
Ah,
and they sort of have their you know, their arms like they're on each other's shoulders, like they're pals.
Gal
Look at this picture.
pals.
Well, seems like my dad had higher friends in higher places than I thought.
he was palling around with the Chancellor?
Do you
So-
think he was part of that exhibition expedition? The one involving Medici and Walden and
It's possible. To my knowledge, like my dad's not really a fighter, right? He's
No.
more of a like
He's a smith and a businessman.
I can't
Your mother
really
was the fighter.
Yeah, I can't really see him in some adventuring party. If anything, he might have provided goods for them, but he wouldn't have been.
He might have known
Maybe-
that.
Oh no,
I
never
don't
mind.
know. Can I like open up the picture frame and see if there's anything on the other side of the photo?
You kind of pull it back, and there is a handwritten note in pencil on the back, and it says, "To future endeavors."
Future endeavors. Probably never thought that his friend's daughter would be framed for his murder at some point, huh?
not really the type of thing you think about when you're making friends.
I should hope not.
I'm going to also keep the photo, but just the photo, not the frame.
So you just pull the photo out of the frame, and you
Put the frame in the drawer and close the drawer.
Well, that's what you found in here. Everything else seems to be fairly mundane. There's a lot of bills of sale to various people who have purchased Steel Song goods. That kind of thing.
Okay. Do any of the... Oh, that's Steel Song, never mind. Like, specifically in items that have Avakia in them, is there any kind of, like, patterns or anything interesting, or is it just, it looks normal?
Well, your father is responsible for a lot of the refinement
Yeah.
of the Avakium ore. He doesn't own a mining company or anything. He purchases the raw metals from the Stonebelly quarry and is able to work it. Other smiths in the land can work it, but no one nearly as well as the Steel Song clan. You're a small clan, but you guys work it in such a way that can hold some truly legendary enchantments. So typically the items that your father makes or helps design go to very wealthy and influential clients. You see the names of some of the big families of Arcadia on there. You see some of the names of the big crankshaft hold families who have bought his goods.
Okay. So it looks about what I would expect.
Nothing strange or out of the ordinary, with the exception of that notice that seemed to be that some of the Avakian metal had been, the unrefined Avakian had been taken
stolen.
from. Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, that's about all that we're going to be finding here, I think.
How recently was that investigation?
Probably a few months ago.
Huh.
It started a few months ago. They've noticed it's been fairly consistent.
Okay.
They have a few storehouses that are out a little north in the countryside if you wanted to investigate those, but they're more along the line towards Zephyr's Gate as opposed to Crankshaft.
Yeah, that might just be like something, a side quest.
Nice and cheap. All right. So I guess we can file on out of here.
Yeah.
Let's mosey.
As you head back outside, you see your mother and your brother Farrar seem to be saddling up some horses on a wagon, attaching them to a wagon, and loading them up. Just essentials. Your brother is still in his smithing apron. Doesn't seem to ever take it off. In fact, you can't really recall the last time you saw him in regular clothing. He always seems to be working at the forge.
Yeah.
Does he wash it?
Uh-oh.
Um,
Uh-oh.
covered in soot, but yeah.
Okay.
He'll roll in soot like a chinchilla.
What?
As you look out over the town, you actually do see a number of other wagons that are being loaded up and prepared to set off. And your mother turns to you, kind of crossing her arms across her chest, tucking them in against the cold wind, and she says, "They've already sent a courier out to Hodar Zairi. We are
Okay.
going to be heading out shortly. You have other travels ahead of you.
Aye, we do.
If you get into Crankshaft and you find your father, tell him that the forge needs fixing."
I will. You be sure
Trust
to
you.
keep. You be sure to keep all of them safe on the journey up north, right?
Absolutely. Be on the lookout for your other brother as well, by the way, Magram. He hasn't written since he got his job. I guess he thinks he's too good for his manda these days.
His
I
master
sure.
craftsman parents.
I'll be sure to try to track him down too.
Very good. Be safe. Don't do anything too risky. Although I know that's never going to stop you. I know where your blood comes from.
I'll do what I can.
Alright. She gives you another kiss on the head.
I'll give her a hug.
She hugs you a very long time. Doesn't
I'll
seem
see
to
you-
want to let go, and
I'll see you soon, Mom.
I know you will. After just kind of keeping in this big bear hug for a while, she lets go, and she goes back with one last glance at you and goes back to preparing the wagon.
I'll give them all a wave and then go back to the group.
Okay. So at this point, your horses. I forget if you actually stabled them after the battle, but I think you did.
I think,
Hopefully.
I think I
I
remember
think
like
Goff tied them.
Yeah.
somehow.
Goff is very concerned about the horses, so
Goff, yeah,
Yeah, Goff is looking out for us, and also horses.
and the horses.
So you managed to. Your horses are stabled right now. They've been. You made sure that they were fed and cared for. There's not really a stable hand at the moment, considering the situation of the town. But so you've kind of had to take care of them yourselves. At this point, the long road to our crankshaft hold stretches out before you. What do you wish to do?
Get on that dusty trail, I guess. Is there anything else that you guys need to do?
I
I'm ready to
Oh.
go.
think I'm
Yeah.
good.
It's probably best to get there as fast as we can because our favorite bye friend,
Fucking God.
Vampire.
Chaotic slutty. God. I'm going to regret that. Okay, so you saddle up your horses and you make out north for Crankshaft Hold. You're traveling for a couple of days. You pass through mountain passes and rocky ravines and small areas where there are little pine forests. You don't see much in the way of civilization. Occasionally you pass what look to be small cabins or farms with smoke stacks rising out of their chimneys, or or smoke wafting out of the chimneys, and occasionally you also see little like mountain goats on the paths.
Banjo
Nothing,
noises.
nothing too dangerous. Sissel, after about a day, you are all traveling through a pine forest, and as the pine trees rise up on each side, you kind of have this feeling of deja vu, and you realize that this looks to be the area that you saw that assassin fleeing through when you scrawled on him.
You guys.
But that was a couple days ago.
Like, he's probably not here anymore, but this is the forest that I saw when I scarred on that assassin. This is the place.
Oh.
Hmm.
Don't suppose he was
Oh.
going up towards Crankshaft.
I suppose we should check on him. Maybe tonight before we before we head to bed.
Definitely.
Can I? Or when he was, I guess I would infer this from Sissel's description previously. When she scryed on him, when he was on a horse heading on the path, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I do a survival check or investigate? I guess I don't know. Investigation.
Are you guys getting out and getting off your horses and stopping here to look around?
Oh, I was gonna see if I could find any like blood on the ground from him. I don't know what the check would be for that.
That'd be a really high survival check because it's been a couple of days and it's a dirt road, so
Well,
odds
alright.
are some of it has faded. Or
because if we had blood, I think that would increase our chances of sort of succeeding on a scry. That's all it
that
was.
is true. You could give it a shot if you want to, but it's
I
going to
wanna-
be dried blood.
I think that doesn't matter. I think as long as it's part of the person, it increases the chance. I'll just say I take like a second to do this. Maybe I catch up with everyone. Maybe not everyone stops with me, but
So the rest of you gonna like go down to a canter as Goff gets off his horse to check things out. Otherwise, you're gonna like zip away from him.
Yeah, Guff gets up his
slow
horse and
down.
we
it's,
just
it's
head home.
fine. It's fine. Goff probably does this shit all the time. He's always
Leave
looking
his
at
ass
stuff on the
behind.
ground. He's always looking at he's always looking at dirt and leaves and shit like a loser. He's
He's always looking at dirt and leaves and shit. That
Am I doing survival? Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah, you get off your horse. You get off of. I always forget which one you have. Samuel? I forget.
I have Francis.
Francis. Damn. it.
Samuel, I think it was Midos or something.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you get off Francis and you begin poking around in the dirt. Give me a survival check.
22 total.
22 total. Unfortunately, you don't really find anything.
Okay.
This path has been trodden upon, some of it by your own party members who have gone through here, and it's the dirt, whatever. If there was blood, it's been tossed about and mixed in with the dirt, and you're not gonna
Okay.
find it.
I figured it was
blood
me as
dirt
well.
now.
It's fine. Blood dirt.
Blood dirt.
Blood dirt.
Blurt, if you will.
So I would say
All
you're on the
blurred.
road for about 2 days. If there's any, other stuff you want to do when you rest at your campfire, or change spells around, or scry, or do whatever the hell you want.
Definitely gonna scry before we go to bed.
Okay.
Bedtime
On the
scry.
first night, I'm assuming.
Scry. Yeah.
Bed scry.
Bed scry. Bry.
Bry.
Scry.
What?
Okay.
What?
What? What's happening? Okay, so go ahead. So you focus on Moira's brooch. You sit cross-legged and you start channeling the scrying spell.
Mhm.
Oh, with the note.
What's your DC again?
My DC is, I think it's 16 now. Let me check.
Should be.
Yeah, 16.
16. So what did I say for this? So you
with
have,
the note.
you have met the target, so that's a +0.
We have the note if that increases or decreases anything.
Doesn't really. No.
Shame we don't
Oh.
have any of that blood dirt.
It's a fail. Okay. Your vision goes dark as you feel yourself and your spirit body just lurch upward into the air, into the cold skies above the Sapphire Highlands. And after a moment, your vision rapidly shifts to the north. And after a while, you find your vision refocusing again, and this time you are looking at a bird's eye view of a grand mountain. But this mountain seems to have some structures built in and on it. You can't quite make out what the structure rising out of the top of the mountain is. It looks to be a tower of sorts, but it is made out of a black obsidian metal with what look to be green inlays of lighted runes. But what you do notice closer to the base of this mountain is a large spanning bridge and a large gear-shaped door, hundreds of feet wide. Your vision once again shifts downward, and you plunge directly down through the mountain, past what look to be all kinds of large mechanical pistons and contraptions, larger than anything you've ever seen in any sort of machine. But also, as you're passing through these machines, you see in your periphery the bustle of a city, of what look to be a population of dwarves and gnomes and halflings milling about and going about their business. And you plunge further and further, going down hundreds of feet. Your vision descends into darkness, and for a moment you can't see as you go through the earth. And you find your assassin, and you see him still cloaked, still covered in his black leathers, with his face obscured. He seems to be sitting in a corner of a room. You can't quite make out anything about the room except that it's dark, and that the walls are made out of a black stone. And you can see his eyes, and they're wide and they're red. And he is rocking himself back and forth.
Like pupils red or entire eye red?
His eyes look red, and the pupils look red, and the rest of his eyes are bloodshot.
Ooh.
And he's got his hands around his knees are curled up in sort of like a fetal position kind of thing, and he's rocking himself back and forth.
Well,
He looks great.
things aren't going great. Things aren't going super well for that guy, seemingly.
Does this mean we're gonna have to save him?
Oh fuck no!
Save.
That dude shot me like
Yeah, it
really
didn't-
hard.
wasn't good.
No, I mean by saving Crankshaft Hold, we're kind of gonna end up saving him.
Well,
Meh.
Maybe.
So, Crankshaft Hold. Pretty cool looking city.
Oh, if you're into that kind of thing.
Cost not. He's
So,
probably not. He's probably gonna be really freaked out when he's there.
I found he is still alive. He is very, very deep underground. He doesn't look good. I think he might be sick.
Sick.
He was.
Might be under the same plague that all the others are under.
That's a possibility. He was very bloodshot eyes and rocking back and forth, facing the walls.
We don't know any symptoms of the sickness, right?
We don't.
No, you don't know anything about this yet.
Just know that it's.
I'm just
quarantine.
assuming he ain't looking good.
Yeah, I mean, he was very wounded, so maybe he was more open to exposure because he was like bleeding and had open wounds and stuff. Maybe that. I'm completely guessing.
Yeah,
I'm
just spitballing at this point. So is he.
Tee-hee.
Tee says Fel.
It's never good when the
quietly.
DM says tee hee. Well, I guess we're going to have to keep an eye out for that when we go. Maybe we'll be able to track him down.
Let's be sure we don't fall under the same affliction.
Yeah.
So if there's any, I guess I'm only talking about Goth here specifically, but there's any spells that you want to switch around or in and out, be sure you do that.
Yeah, I'm already doing it.
It's going to be about another day of uneventful travel before you eventually get to Crankshaft Hold. As you approach...
Oh, quick
What?
thing, quick party question. Should I have sent a message over the course of this to like Anna and Alonzo, telling them what we're doing? Hello? I feel like they should be
I mean,
in the know.
if you have the points to like burn, I would just say like.
I would have done this over the
don't-
like before going to sleep the first night.
you
Yeah,
can
I
fill
would
up by
say
the
just
time.
like. Just wait for our word before making a move or something.
But
Unless you
do
have
give
any-
them do give them a briefing.
Yeah, just in case they don't act.
Okay. I guess in however many words I will tell them going like that we're I don't know how to shorten this.
It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Don't.
Okay, I'm gonna tell them in the shortest ways possible, the shortest like telegram style, like
Stop.
we're retreating to save lives. We don't know when the orcs are gonna attack. We want to try and we want to try to get like deal with the problem in Crankshaft before returning to deal with the orcs. They will have control of the Evacuum for the time being, but it's temporary, hopefully. Just like I guess just telling them that to be so that they are aware that the orcs might gain ground, and it's a temporary thing. But
Hopefully.
if necessary, be ready. If we need help, well, if they're willing to spare help, be ready to provide it somehow.
Okay. Alonzo tells you that they'll wait for your word, and Anna as well. She also wishes you luck in Crankshaft and to be safe.
Okay. We feel weird. Like Goff is not. I feel this is something that Verna should be saying to people. Goff is the one who's having to do like political dealings with the people in charge because he's the only one who could use this fucking spell. Well, the only one who has it prepared anyway.
After another day of travel in which you make your way upward into the mountains, the altitude increasing slightly as you get toward the western mountain ranges, ultimately, after a day's travel, you find yourself standing on the edge of a great granite bridge spanning a ravine, the mists to either side obscuring the bottom. The masonry is classical dwarvish design with tall stone pillars topped with burning pyres, intricately carved runes and inscriptions inlaid into them, and heavy iron chains securing the structure to the mountainsides around you. In the distance you see a thick steel door, hundreds of feet high, shaped like a gear, and built into the mountain before you. The metal is rusted with age. The wind whips around you from the ravine below, and as you gaze upward, toward the top of the snow-capped mountains, you see a great obsidian tower rising out of the rock, hundreds of feet above you. The tower is rectangular in shape and inlaid with lines of glowing green lights that run vertically along it to the top. Before you, standing at the great gear door, you see a squadron of Crankshaft regulars, their bronze-colored helmets standing out distinctly against the great cliffside, and they are all standing at the ready with muskets at their sides.
Well, there's the welcoming party.
Do you think they've been taken in?
What?
What
Do you think that the sickness took them?
Oh no, because they're here to keep everybody else out.
Right.
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna say like I don't know if I have to do checks for this, but for the sake of flavor, if not also mechanical benefit, I'm gonna say that while we're here, due to what we know about this place, Goff is gonna be like hyper aware and looking at people for anything sort of symptoms that he can see visibly. Like
Sure.
he's going to be like basically any person that comes within comes close to him. He's going to be looking at like their faces, eyes, anything.
He
body
opens their mouth, checks their tongue.
No, he's not gonna. He's not gonna
I
do
know.
that. But he's gonna be looking for surface level symptoms that could mean something's fucked up about them, even if it's
Sure.
not. He's just gonna be very cautious going in.
So you're standing at the edge of this bridge that spans this big ravine, and it's kind of like the area is almost like a basin in a sense, in that the entrance to the bridge is a very it's a gap in what is otherwise a ring of mountains that surrounds this valley where the bridge is, and at the far end of this bridge is the big door leading into the largest of the mountains. And so you're about maybe 100 feet off from this group of guards, these crankshaft regulars who are lining the bridge. They have their muskets at their side, but they clearly are facing outward, seeming to ward off anybody who comes up to them.
Well, I imagine if we ask really, really nicely.
Erase good at that.
We're supposed to keep people out, right? Not in. I mean, in, out.
Both.
I mean, they probably
Bah.
don't want either to happen. Should we discuss what our plan is? Like, they won't let us in.
I would rather not attack the guards of Crankshaft Hole.
I would also really rather not attack this shaft.
Is Haraith the person most familiar with Crankshaft?
I technically,
never
but
been.
she's never been. Like, she only knows of it. She doesn't
Oh.
have much knowledge.
So no one here has been here before. I haven't. Has Sissel or Ellen?
Correct.
Okay, so we have. Okay, I was gonna say maybe someone like might have some knowledge of like some back entrances. Okay.
No,
Well. Yeah, I got nothing. I mean, I can maybe use my Raven, but I don't know if there's any ways for the Raven to fly around or in or. Yeah, I don't think
Probably
we want to
not.
fight. I don't think we. I think we want to have the people in the city on our side. So
Yeah, that's the goal.
We're gonna try and.
Also, you get the impression from the size of this mountain that if there is something in the interior here, it's a big city. We're talking maybe not Arcadia size, but I mean, it's fairly big. Bigger than Evendell.
Oh sure.
So what do you plan to do?
well, I guess we can try diplomacy and then figure something out. Something sneakier if that doesn't.
Good plan.
I just have.
I'll
to
be off to the side if diplomacy doesn't work.
Okay, so
Because
you're
it's basically a thing where, because I've been programmed by World of Warcraft, all I can think of when I think of dwarf cities is Ironforge. So it's like there's mostly just like one door, two ground space.
I mean, if you want to get technical, I think Ironforge had some like entrances you could fly into. But
Maybe.
that's
this is the
World
only
of
one you
Warcraft.
know of. This is the
Yeah, we don't know of any others, and that's World of Warcraft specifically. So
And it's like a closed. by
It's
the-
a big old, hundreds of feet wide gear door, like the vault doors from Fallout.
thanks,
Right.
Todd, the leader of the city, Todd Crankshaft, blocking us out again.
All right, so the first guard we meet has to be named Todd Crankshaft.
No.
No,
No.
I'm kidding.
It would be the leader of the city.
The guard points up. See that mountain? You
See
can't
that
climb it.
You can climb that.
I've climbed every day.
You can't climb it. It's not allowed. Go on. Sorry.
All right.
shit.
No, I was just gathering all of my thoughts, so I'm ready to be a charisma character.
Picked one. You gotta be it.
I know.
If only it was Chris right now. I can help you out.
Chris just sidles in. Hey guys, if you let me into Crankshaft Hole right
Yeah.
now, I'll give you a signed, autographed copy of my new
God.
was
Okay.
single.
Putrefy. Yo, bruh. Cool mountain. Can I go in?
It's putrefy,
That
but like
20%
the
for
phi of
putrefy.
it is like in parentheses, and it's phi like high fi.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Holy fuck.
All right.
Yeah, I suppose since we have rode up on our horses, I will boldly go and speak with the guards.
Okay. All right, as you approach on horseback, I assume. Your horse.
I think that would be kind of like the guards aren't on horseback, right?
No.
They're just standing. When we get kind of close, I guess I'll hop off and approach on foot.
Okay. You get about most of the way across the bridge, and you get off your horse and begin walking confidently toward the group of guards. Your footsteps echoing across this whole ravine, which is otherwise silent except for the sound of the wind whipping through it.
Is Horace like purposely stomping her feet into the bridge?
No, you just hear her footfalls on this granite.
Oh, okay. Doesn't say it's
And-
pretty loud.
It's also like cavernous, so it echoes.
It's an echoing area. And as you get close, one of the guards, who seems to have a little bit more plumage on his shoulders, steps forward, and he holds a hand out. He says, "I'm afraid you're going to have to turn around, miss. Crankshaft is under quarantine."
So I've heard.
Aye?
I've also, that's actually why I've came. Me and my companions here are here to solve your problem.
I'm afraid no one is allowed in unless they are on official business with the other cities of the realm, or if they are an employee of one of the companies.
I'm just sitting here
Are-
like, I feel I have tangential claims to both of these, but
yeah,
they're...
aren't we technically on city business with Anna? Like, isn't she like kind of like the one like being like, hey, you guys are the ones who are helping get these keys, right? So I think.
Yeah, but I don't think that's common knowledge.
But we couldn't we like do like a sending thing and be like, hey, can you tell this guy?
Can you tell this dude
You're
to fuck
innocent.
off?
Like, yeah. Is that
like we did with the guard.
Hey Anna,
Yeah.
do you mind using some of your spell points today to tell this guard?
I mean, what else is she
fuck
gonna
off?
use them on?
I know, I'm just kidding.
Teleporting people to us.
I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen right now or today. I think, yeah, if we had to convince this guy, I could always be like, Anna, could you tell this dwarf?
Can you tell this fucker to leave?
This dwarf I've never met.
Well, it's funny that you should mention that because, well, first hand, we are here on official business. We are under orders of the Chancellor to explore the realm and solve certain problems that have been cropping up, one of which we've heard has been Crankshaft and its mysterious illness. And the other is that I might not be in the employ of any of the companies within, but I am a seal song from Firepoint. My brother is under their employ, and I'm here to try and not only solve this problem, but wait, words. But also to find him and to help in their exploits as well.
He looks at you with this kind of look. As you're explaining all this, he just has this total deadpan expression as he's staring at you like, oh, God. After
I give
you
him a
finish-
winning smile.
After you finish, he says,
Please don't ask to see the manager.
"If you're here on official realm business, please provide a letter of reference or proof of affiliation."
Did Anna not give us like any letters?
No, I don't think so. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure we don't have anything from her. Probably should have just asked her if she could give us like a pass. Like,
I
hey,
want her to give us a blank sheet of paper that just says they can do whatever they want.
signed Ron.
Fucking- Oh, God.
We need. Have we met a Ron Swanson character in this game yet? 'Cause I swear to
We
God.
need to.
You'll just have psychic paper from Doctor Who, and you'll just be like, "Yeah, this is my
Uh,
proof."
If I can I can sending on for Anna.
First, let's ask
we
him what
should
his
probably-
name is.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so when we left Arcadia, we didn't exactly get one of these papers that you're so interested in seeing. But we can get Anna Stonebrook on the phone real quick and have her send you a message assuring you who we are. But we might need to know your name first so she can reach you.
Officer Thumac.
Alright, I'm gonna walk back a little bit and tell Goff that the good officer's name is Officer Thumac.
They could. Okay. Goff sheepishly conjures a sending message. He says,
It's me again.
Sorry for messaging you all the time. Could you please? We need to get into Crankshaft, but the guards won't let us in. Could you please tell Officer Thumac that we're under official business from Arcadia to get in?
You get
Smiley
sort of like
emoji.
an irritated response. Anna says, "That's not how sending works. I don't know this guy. I've never met him before."
I thought
I thought
Wait,
you
okay.
said that.
you said that I could do that with the orc guy. And we only knew
I
his
said
name.
you could try.
Oh my god. Well, Goff just feels like shit now. He just like feels embarrassed, and then now we were nowhere closer than what we were doing.
If you do not have proof of affiliation with the Arcadian Chancellor, I must ask you to leave.
Alright, listen, bub. I'm trying to work with you here, but this is how it's going to go. Whether or not you give me permission or not, I'm going to go in the door. It'll just be more difficult, and it'll just get on my nerves. So you might as well just let us in. And if we go in, and we get sick, and we die, that's on us, right? I'm not going to say your name. Nobody's going to know that you let us in. You just have to look the other way and open the door for just a minute. And hey, you might be remembered as a hero that let the real heroes in, and I'll be sure to keep your footnote in the legend.
Are you trying to persuade him or intimidate him? Where is
I
this
feel
going?
like this is more of a. I'm not threatening any kind of harm. I'm not going to hurt any of these guys. Like my other plan was literally just to one by one grab people and dimension door them in. So like, it's a persuasion. Also, because that's a higher staff.
He just looks at you deadpan. Yeah, you could. He looks like he's just not receptive to this kind of thing. He's just looking at it like. He stares at you for a moment. He says, "There are many more guards inside. And this is not about you getting sick. It's about keeping the quarantine and keeping the sickness inside."
So what? Do you guys just camp out here every night and get some tents
I-
up? Oh.
You can see there's like sort of bags under his eyes.
Oh no.
Oh.
Listen, I don't know what's happening there, but we do need to get in. We're your best shot at fixing.
Make a persuasion check.
It's a 19.
He just continues looking at you with a deadpan expression, and he says, "I'm sorry, unless you have proof of affiliation, I cannot let you in. Or if you are an employee, I can also let you in, but otherwise, I'm afraid you must stay out."
Why did we even think to just ask Anna for a piece of paper with a stamp on it?
Not sure if any of the items I got from the office might help. Sure, I should show that.
I mean, the signet
If that's
ring
what you want to
maybe.
do, you could try.
But that's the old Chancellor's ring.
Yeah. And they might not know what it is.
are you doing?
I'm thinking.
I mean, I got nothing for this kind of thing. I did my thing and it didn't work, so I.
Stop.
Hmm?
I'm looking at my spells, but man, ugh. Just wish I could just imagine this. How far away is the door?
From these guys, probably about 20 feet. They're literally right behind it. Right now, it's just rising up like a couple hundred feet above you.
Okay.
Did say there's many more guards inside, so even if we dimension doored in, we still have more guards that would probably stop us. That's the problem.
Yeah, but at that point, what the fuck are they gonna do? Throw us out? That would be just as bad as letting us in.
Would it?
Yeah, because they would
Yeah.
still have to open the door.
We'd be breaking quarantine.
So the whole point is for them to not open the door, right?
Yeah.
Could you? Is it dumb to ask him if it's okay if we go in without opening the door?
Well, I'm about to just show him.
Oh. Wait, you're just gonna use dimension doors to show him?
Yeah, I'm gonna cast a dimension door and go inside. I'm just gonna
Okay.
do a very big, laborious sigh, and I'm going to just like open up a little portal
Oh
and slip
boy.
in.
Okay, well.
As you disappear from view, the rest of you see Officer Thumac sigh and then touch an earring that's on his ear. Gamlin, we got a quarantine runner.
So
Wraith, how far in are you materializing?
I'm not.
How
I just
far are you
wanna.
going?
I wanna go inside and I'll look around.
Well, how many
See-
feet? How many feet?
Not many. Like
Because you don't know what's on the other side of this door, and you don't know how thick it is either.
I mean, it's probably pretty thick, so I'm assuming like 100 feet.
Okay,
Well,
so
maybe,
you go forward 100 feet.
Well, wait, 20. Let's say more like 60.
Okay.
Well, now you got me nervous. How big could this door? I'm gonna say.
I
gonna
was
say
thinking
100
more
feet.
generous because if you go into the door, I think you'll probably just end
No,
up on the
if you
outside
go
of
if
it.
you go into the door, what
I'll
happens
get popped
is
back, and it's embarrassing.
the spell fails. Yeah, you get sent
So
back.
I would overshoot, so you instead of collide with something
All right,
beyond the
yes,
door.
100 feet.
Okay. You cast Dimension Door and poof out of existence and reappear, and it takes your dark vision a moment to adjust. For you are now within what appears to be the interior of the mountain. You are standing upon what appears to be a long metal walkway that stretches into the central holds of the city. And ahead of you, you see the following sight. You see towering drive shafts and pistons that run the length of a hollow vertical cavern, with tremendous gears the size of whole neighborhoods in Arcadia encircling them. These don't seem to be active, they seem to be immobile. And the actual gears and shafts themselves appear to have a multitude of stone and metal structures built in and upon them, as if whoever has constructed the city has moved into construction that's already been there. Around the exterior of the city, there are a number of bridges that span out toward what look to be big, ostentatious mansions or buildings that have been carved into the rock on the outer walls of the cavern. And this is about all you can see at the moment. For you suddenly hear a clink, 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 and you look down at your feet, and there's a small round object. And it suddenly bursts. And I
Wait.
need you to,
Did I not have any
do a
chance to,
Constitution
like-
saving throw.
No
Because-
chance to like step back and use my cube or anything? I'm just.
I would say, yeah, you can use your cube.
I'm going to. Where's my information? Whatever one is the doesn't let anything in.
Gases?
Well, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna hold on. Yeah, I'm going to hit the 5th face so that nothing can get in or out.
Okay.
Mini quarantine.
So you see this thing clatter to your feet, and you immediately, instinctively take a jump back and pull the cube out off of your belt or wherever else you're storing it, and you hit the 5th face, and a invisible cube of force surrounds you. This device still goes off,
Yeah.
and it's not explosive in force, it's not concussive in force. I still need you to make a Constitution saving throw because your vision is suddenly assaulted by a blinding white flash.
Flashbang.
Bounced off my phone and it gave me a bad roll.
Roll it again.
That's an even worse roll!
Oh no.
What's the total of the better roll?
It's only I rolled either a 4 or a 2, so I failed.
Well, what was it with your Constitution save added to it?
Either a 4 or a 6. I don't have a
Really?
high comp. Yeah.
Don't you have proficiency in Constitution saving
Bards
throws?
don't have.
Oh,
No,
I'm
they have
thinking
Dex
of-
and Charisma.
Okay, so
You're
you don't have.
thinking of sorcerers.
Yeah, I am. Okay. So, this light goes off and fills your vision. You're immediately blinded. So you have the blinded condition currently. You still have this cube of force around you, but you can't see anything, but you do hear what sounds to be a number of firearms being cocked all around you.
Oh god. Meanwhile, we're just outside like, well. Continue, sorry.
You hear
Feel free to fire at will, gentlemen!
you
I
hear
don't particularly care!
you hear a voice speak to you, and it sounds somewhat muffled as if they're speaking through a mask. And you just hear a very gruff voice speak to you and say,
Well, nah. Sorry.
"No one knew who I was." No,
Don't.
it's not me.
Please
You hear a
no.
very gruff voice say to you, "Citizen, you're violating quarantine. I'm going to need you to drop the barrier and come with us."
You're not giving me much of a reason to want to do such a thing.
"Citizen, if you do not come with us, we will bring magisters out to disintegrate your force barrier, and then you will come with us."
If I step forward and, like, all I want to do is find the flashbang, like, the remains of whatever, the grenade or whatever it
I
was.
think it's
Is there
on the
anything there?
Isn't it on the outside of your thing?
It's on the outside, yeah.
Man.
So you'd push it as you're moving it along.
I'm just not allowed to do anything cool.
If you want it to be inside the cube, you can. It means you just additionally have suffered some damage from the explosion. I thought the whole point of the cube of force was that it was going to be on the outside.
No, yeah. Man,
Can't get away with nothing.
these fuckers. And I can't see anything, right?
Yeah, your eyes are still just burning from the just a bright flash of light. You're seeing spots. You're starting to see shapes again, but it's still fairly blurry.
I want to do the following actions
Okay.
in quick succession.
Depends on what you want to do. We have to respect action economy here, but you tell me what
I
you wanna
know. Well, wait, let me set an action. action. It just doesn't say whether or not hitting a face is an action.
It should. I think it's an action.
But also, you can't see the force field. How
Yeah, it's invisible.
does he know I have one?
You don't know. You can't see anything right now.
No, he just said that he wanted me to
Magic
drop the
perception.
barrier.
Maybe they. You don't know. You don't know. You don't see anything right now. You can't see what they tried to do.
I'll just dimension door back outside.
Okay. You pop back out on the other side, and you see nothing. So your
No,
Vision's
I'm
still coming
rubbing.
back
I'm
into
rubbing my
focus.
eyes.
Yeah. You all see Hiraeth reappear on the other side, in front of Officer Thumak and his squadron.
What
And
a rating.
again, ma'am, we're under quarantine.
I know, and I broke it. So you should have no problem in letting us in now.
That's not how the illness works.
How about you enlighten me then?
The afflicted are cursed with madness. Their eyes go red. We're trying to keep them from escaping.
Do you know how it spread?
Blood contact. Weak of mind. We're not sure. Our magisters are still working on it.
Do you know where it come from?
It happened in... He catches himself for a moment. That is proprietary company knowledge. You'll need to speak with an employee of
Wait
the
a minute.
companies.
I have to look up information that I'm forgetting.
So they do know about the keys.
Now, if you
I-
do not have proof of affiliation with a governing body of the realm, I must ask you to leave.
What's the thing called? I don't have it in my notes. The madness thing?
The key of
The
madness.
demand of madness. DESMEN.
The demand.
Demens. I
The
never knew how to
demon.
pronounce that word.
It's the demen. Demen.
Yeah.
Proprietary, you say? The Chaos Emeralds. No, the
You mean the Chaos Emeralds.
Dimension.
Chaos Control.
I'm sorry, say that again. I didn't hear you.
The Demon of Madness. That's where it's coming from. It's somewhere deep underground. It's in a crankshaft.
I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am.
Oh, can we?
Can I do an
Sorry.
insight check on that?
Can we
Yeah, you can do an
do
insight
the
check.
insight check for this conversation?
Yeah, you can. Go for it.
Can I peer into his soul?
I don't even need to roll it. Just let Ellen do it.
You don't get this, like, you don't sense that he's deceiving you or hiding any information. At least when Hiraeth mentions the demand of madness, it doesn't. It genuinely appears he does not know what she's talking about.
Oh, they don't know about it.
Alright, I'm gonna do a detect thoughts on surface level on this guy. The
Okay.
undetectable one.
All right. You hear his surface level thoughts, which are
They're not going to be flattering.
Yeah, it's probably,
Why did I-
it's probably just gonna be like useless. Like, please leave.
these annoying. Why are these annoying surface dwellers bothering me? Why did I get this post? When's lunch?
Goff just like he takes the moment to look and he's just like, and then he just turns back to looking over the bridge and just kind of like chin it, like side of his face in one hand, just like sighing, like Charlie Brown, just like leaning over the edge, just like so, thinking to himself, so tired of politics. I should have never left the forest.
I knew I should have.
Knew I
Stay
should
there.
have stayed home today.
Yeah.
I'm going to dig in my pocket and bring out the signet ring. I'm
Okay.
going to offer it to him. I'm going to say, "Do you recognize this?"
Is this your proof?
Could be.
One moment. He takes a signet ring from you, and he walks over to a small, like, checkpoint that's been established, makeshift shack that's on the bridge, and you see him walk in and go to a desk, and there's like a little piece of paper there, and he starts kind of tracing his finger down the paper, looking for something on it. And after a moment, he walks back out, and he returns the signet ring to you, and says, "All right,
See, this is why I always question, why does nobody believe me?
you just presented your proof of affiliation with the Arcadian Chancellor in the first place.
Oh yeah, we have the
Why
signet ring. Sorry,
Yeah, delayed reaction on that, but yeah.
I was thinking like, whose signet ring?
Well, sometimes you don't want to go splashing some of your more important items. Don't know what you might have done with it. Why don't you just believe me? I'm very charming. I've never told a lie in my life.
I haven't slept in 48 hours.
Oh no!
Oh.
Wait,
So one of us can fix that for you.
yeah, can I
I'm
use...
going
Can
to
I...
choose to ignore that. That sounded like a threat. Are we going
Oh
inside?
no, that was an
Threats of a
offer.
good night's sleep.
Wait, doesn't lesser restoration or something let me do that?
I don't think it can restore exhaustion.
No, yeah. He's
You have to sleep to restore exhaustion. Maybe greater restoration can. Let me check.
Well, that's a lot of spell points for this guy who's been nothing but
Just
helpful
chug
to
a,
us.
I mean,
just,
he's
just
just
chug
doing
a
his
ye
job.
old Mountain Dew.
Or a
Just
yield
give
Red Bull.
Ye old Red Bull, yeah. I know my energy drinks.
It's a monster.
Exhaustion. You can reduce the target's exhaustion level by 1 with each casting of greater restoration.
Hmm.
You know that you gain 1 level of exhaustion for every 24 hours that you go without sleep.
Yeah. That's 7 spell points for a guy. For I mean,
Yeah, you do what you want.
the problem is that I don't know what kind of fucked up shit's gonna be in this city, and I don't know when I'm gonna get a long rest, so I don't want to. And normally Goff would do it, but under the circumstances, I don't think he's willing to. He's trying to be ready for anything, and he sadly does not help this man because I just don't. He knows
does not
he's
have
seen
the resources to help.
He's seen what's happened with the key before, the other key, and he knows how fucked up it can get, and so he's trying to be as fully prepared as he can be for anything ahead.
Okay. After a moment, Officer Thumek turns to one of the other crankshaft regular guards who's standing there. He says, "All right, Ravik, hit the switch." And this guard walks over to what appears to be another small makeshift, I don't know if it's like a little checkpoint or whatever, and he walks inside, and you see him pull a big old lever, and on the gear door you see a panel on the lower part of the door slide away. You see kind of one thin sheet of metal slide away on the surface, and then you see another sheet of metal, and they just in quick succession peel back, revealing a dark interior that leads into the city.
Alright, I guess we'll boldly enter.
In we go.
You step inside, and as soon as all of you get inside, the panels close back behind you. You find yourself on this long bridge once more of sort of like a
Skindian.
like a metal catwalk. You can see through it. and there are about a dozen crankshaft regulars that are lining the entrance to this bridge, and they're all wearing what look like gas masks of sort. They're similar to the gas mask that Dr. Walden tried to sell you at one point.
Hmm.
And they all got muskets at the ready, at the sides, and they're all glancing at you.
I'm gonna give him a wave.
You hear one of them just audibly grunt. So before you see this, what looks to have been the interior workings of a large contraption of some sort. Drive shafts and pistons and big horizontal gears. But none of it's moving. It's all stopped. And there are metal structures that have been built up on the gears. There are areas that have been hollowed out within the pistons and cylinders where you can see what look to be homes or places of business. You see all around the exterior cavern, the exterior walls of the cavern, those stone walls, there are a number of buildings that have been carved into the rock face itself, and there are metal walkways that lead out to them. All around, all cardinal directions. And gazing over the walkway, you see the city just goes down. It goes down into the darkness, hundreds of feet, and you see what on the sides what look to be large inactive lifts linking the tops to of the hold to the bottom. The lifts are currently pulled up. They are at the highest point, and they are seemingly being guarded.
Something just... Oh, sorry, yeah.
No, so go on.
Something just occurred to me. You can only come in with affiliation from a governing body or a company, right?
So it seems.
And I turn to Cecil. And our assassin friend is in the city.
So
He was
we
also-
can assume that he's affiliated with some sort of major company.
Either that or very, very sneaky. He's only one person.
That is true.
Kept himself hidden from us.
Something to
Still,
think about.
something...
As you're all standing there on the bridge, taking in this whole place, you are suddenly startled when you hear a scream rise up from the depths of the city. Thousands of cacophonous voices crying out from the darkness, shouting incoherently with rage. And then it grows quiet again, and the guards on the bridge, they all trade nervous glances with each other. Some of the merchants on one of the central gears and the other city folk look a bit uneasy before they begin returning to their work.
Looks like... Okay, so if the last one affected the land, I suppose this one affects mines around it?
That's what it
It's
sounds
possible.
like. They said
Like, the mountain itself doesn't look... Like, the surroundings themselves don't look like they've been altered in any way, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
This is
Interesting.
Like, this is not a good environment for Goff.
No.
Yeah,
He hates this. This is just like metal.
there's no
metal and-
sky.
There's no sky. There's metal everywhere. This is like almost as bad as being back in that fucking like hell zone dimension we were in before we like saved it. It's just like no life except for people.
Holy shit!
Humanoids.
Life needs.
Well, no, that doesn't. The thing that
No
Goth
life except for
most
people.
familiar with are little animals
I
and
know.
plants. Humanoids have, for the most part, brought him nothing but suffering. So that's okay. Just
Okay, yeah, I know.
That is one
Yeah,
movie
you said it.
shit.
It's really funny.
So he's like holding onto a railing, just like, why am I here? What have I done?
Okay.
Goff has done nothing wrong in his life ever.
He
I
is
know
my
this, I
son,
love you.
and I love him.
Welcome to Crankshaft.
So, I'm not sure if there's a specific criteria for who it affects, but I'm not very keen on staying here long. Let's solve this quick.
That's the plan.
So, where are we? Where are
You're
we?
currently on a bridge on the southern end of the city. There are, looking ahead of you on this level, and it doesn't seem like you can access any other levels because the lifts have been closed off. On this level, you see what appear to be 3 central cylinders with gears around them, all interlocked, and all the gears are currently unmoving and inactive. There are a number of what appear to be directly ahead of you. On the frontmost facing gear, you see what looks to be a small market that has been established on the face of the gear. On the cylinders leading up, there are a number of what look to be spiral staircases that lead up to elevated shops and living quarters, and you hear some taverns, some inns, places like that. And finally, there are a number of what appear to be more important buildings that have been established, carved into the rock of the cavern on the outer edges, that have bridges similar to the one that you're standing on leading to them.
So we don't really know where we're going, huh?
Goff pulls out one of the maps he has and points at it, kind of and then around at the area, like maybe we should find a map if one exists.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
So, well, could always try a tavern with the markets. Imagine there would be somebody who knew something there.
Or an inn of some nature.
Oh, that would be a good
You know, they have those little brochure tables with all the...
Why not?
Yeah,
Sure, that's a thing
it's definitely a thing. Crankshaft, yeah.
for the visiting
For all
the
the folks
tourists.
visiting it these days.
during the quarantine.
Come on down to Crankshaft during our world famous quarantine.
We have
Darkness, screaming,
idea. Dirty regulars.
eternal pain, grumpy guards who don't get
Okay.
enough sleep.
All right.
grumpy boys.
What are you doing?
I guess we're gonna find an inn?
Looking
Okay.
around for something of that
How are you going to
nature.
do that? Are you just going to wander around?
Are we? Excuse me. Is there some place we can set up to maybe stay?
You're asking like one of the guards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just turns to one, and yeah.
He speaks through his gas mask and he says, it depends on how much money you have. Upscale, you're looking for just a place to put your head?
Nothing too. It's not nothing too fancy. Just some place to rest for the night.
But, you know, nothing frightening.
Mhm.
Alright, try the company pub. It's about 10 minutes that way. Check the second gear.
Okay.
And he points over
As
to
we
the
walk
northeast
away,
side.
I sort of like turn to Heraith. Do you know what he means by check the second gear?
Let's move over to the drawing board.
Okay.
Drawing board.
Hold on, I got
Boring Jord.
okay. That was weird. What happened? Oh, that's what happened. Boop, boop, and boop. Okay, so the actual physical layout of this city. Let me get the circle tool out because there's a lot of circles. How do I do circles again? Hold Alt. Okay. Okay, so basically, you've got 3 big gears that are all interlocked, and they're kind of like. That's not really good, but I'll have to move it. It's kind of like Mickey Mouse almost. That's not exactly working, but yeah. Basically like that. And they've got smaller kind of pistons in the center of them. Like, that's not going to work. Like basically that. And then they have so the bridge you're on is like out that way, and then there's a number of other bridges that kind of shoot out in every direction. That didn't work. Fuck off. And so on. Like, you get the idea.
Yeah.
So, he was pointing northeast, so he was pointing toward this direction. I mean, for scale, like, I could draw like a little dot on the map to indicate just how big you are. But, like, you're like a little speck, basically.
Okay.
Tiny.
Like you're like, boop. There's your
Are
characters.
the businesses on the gears, are they built into buildings or are they like stalls?
The ones directly in front of you into the market look like an open market style with stalls that have been set up, but there are also a number of metallic structures that have been built on the surfaces and or against the cylinders. And then there's like spiral staircases up the cylinders where there are what look to be like small shops or residences that have been actually built into the cylinders. Like the cylinders have been hollowed out and they've built structures inside them. And then you've got like a big cavern that just stretches. I'm not going to draw the full thing because it's huge, but like you got a big cavern that just sort of stretches all the way around, and there's a bunch of
until you drew that upper
It
circle,
looked like a
it was
face for a
like a
second.
big smiley face.
but and there's a number of buildings that have been carved in the classical rock, kind of dwarvish style that you might see.
The implication we can take away from this is that these gears have long not been used.
Oh yeah, and they go up and down the cavern, up to the tallest, like way into the darkness you can't see.
Are
way
are
above
the
you and way
gears?
below you.
What is the gears made out of that weird material with the runes
Yep.
in it?
Yep.
Oh, so the residents of this place. So this is like Zephyrins, where it's like this was a lot of ruins or like remains
Yes.
of another place, and they built into it. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Interesting.
How fucked up would it be if the gear started moving now?
Oh my god. Surprise!
That was
crank
not
shaft
that was
is
not my character
cranking.
thinking that. The shaft is being cranked.
No. Okay. All right. So what do you want to do?
Holds shaft.
So they said like ahead 10 minutes and then something about a gear.
Yeah, the
I think-
second
The
gear.
second-
The second
One on the
gear
right.
is. Yeah.
Right, let's do that. Let's find it.
Okay, so you make your way across the bridge and you begin weaving your way through what appears to be almost a maze of structures that they have some age to them. They've been around for a while. They seem sturdy enough, but they also seem like they do not fit in with the original design of whatever this was. This was clearly not meant to be a residence of any sort. This looks like it was a large machine of some kind. For what
Oh,
purpose
God.
you don't even know.
Oh god. Oh my god. I just don't even want to think about what this giant mountain does. I don't...
Yeah.
That gives me so much anxiety. Oh my god. There's a big fuck off missile or some shit.
Oh my god.
Or maybe there's like a big monster underneath.
We're gonna
it.
have to do a Little Witch Academia ending.
Oh my god.
Okay. Eventually, you make your way through this twisting maze of metal and makeshift streets, crossing a bridge that's built up between the two gears to prevent anyone from falling off, basically. And finally, after wandering around the crowds for a while on the second gear, you do find a small place that has been built into one of the side of the cylinder on the base level, and it says above it there's a metallic sign that sticks out that says the company pub. And you step inside. The lighting is very clinical. It appears that a lot of the lighting in Crankshaft Hold is electric. The dwarves appear to have been able to tap into whatever power systems were innate in this structure and have used that to power their city. But you get inside and it feels almost like you're stepping into a very sterile environment or a very clean environment, and you look around yourself. There seem to be a lot of dwarves and gnomes sitting around, some of them wearing what appear to be uniforms. They all look dreary, they all look bored, they're all sipping what look to be very watered down beverages. There is a dwarven man behind the bar. He is wearing a very trim white shirt with what appears to be a small black tie. His hair is very neatly combed. The patrons of this establishment, as well as the bartenders, seem much better dressed and better groomed than most people you've come across in your travels.
Thinking face emoji. So do we just ask around?
I suppose so. I mean, well, maybe we'll start with the room for the night.
Yeah, I will.
What time of day is it?
It's still early.
Yeah, but I would like a place to come back to.
Okay.
We will approach the bar.
Okay. The gentleman at the bar, he seems to have been kind of staring off toward a wall. And as you approach, he slowly moves his head to look at you.
There are no bi-vampires around,
No.
are there? Okay.
He says, "Welcome to the company pub.
Thank you.
Where
What
in
company are
the
you from, brother?"
Goff thinks to himself, "Thanks, I hate it."
What company are you from, sisters?
currently without,
Oh, that won't be long in this city.
I imagined.
So, what brings you here?
Currently in the market for a room.
Okay.
Or two. Whatever you have available.
How
Sure.
tall is the ceiling here?
The ceilings, they're fairly high.
Are they goth size?
Yes, you get the impression that they do get travelers, or have in the past gotten travelers, so these are designed for all sizes. So the bartender, after a moment, says, "We have a few beds available. So just the four of you."
And
our dog.
And the dog.
A dog?
What?
He backs up.
Yes.
Oh,
Is there a problem?
Problem?
Puglum.
He had his. Is he sick? Is he?
He is.
They have a lot of disease, you know.
He is actually magical.
The dog's a lot smarter than most people you'll meet.
He's a perfectly healthy dog.
Goff looks at Roscoe. How does Roscoe look?
Roscoe just tilts his head to the side and has like one ear folded over.
Aw. Yeah. then Goff just kind of shrugs.
Meanwhile, the bartender's behind the bar, like backing away and hyperventilating.
It's okay,
Is
we have a
it-
cat to balance him out.
Okay, this cannot. Is this like a? Is it this like? Well, I guess I'm not asking this. This can't. Never mind. It just
This
like
cannot continue.
we got through here with the dog and the cat, and they didn't stop us.
I think
so
it's just this guy being a hypochondriac.
They carry all diseases, you know.
Our dog, we can assure you that they are very clean.
Don't
been
worry,
checked out.
we travel with a vet, so they'll be fine.
Look, you have a cleric, and they
Yes.
checked them
I'm
out.
Points at Goff.
point at the big man.
Goff waves.
Make a persuasion roll.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh god, it fell off the table.
Roll it again.
It's very good. It's a 30.
I wonder if it's possible to be
Gross.
convinced.
He listens to your reassuring words, and the cadence of your voice is very soothing. You see him slow down and start to take deeper breaths. Okay.
Don't worry, friend. There's
I'll have to clean the place. It's fine. I'm gonna have to charge a little extra. This is a no pets tavern.
that's
where are we?
fine.
That's fine. I'll have to charge 5 gold for each of you.
That's also fine.
Wow. I mean, that's fine. But it's also like normally they're like less than 1, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good because I don't like having to deal with silver. I always just paid gold anyway.
Mhm.
Gold's fine.
Math.
do we each want to pay our 5 then?
I mean, we have a group fund
Oh, do we? Okay, so that would
that I
be.
keep track of.
Does it
I've
be
never
20?
divided it, so
Is it 20 per person, or are we also
25.
paying for? Okay, so do we want to? Does Goff want to pay the 25 from the group fund?
I mean, I just assume that either Goff does it or someone digs into the bag and does it. I don't. It doesn't.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying that I don't keep that number.
30, 34. Okay, sorry, I had to do subtraction from a weird number.
Math.
Yeah.
Math is
Okay.
bad.
Yeah, I subtracted the gold. Fuck.
Okay.
Thank you, friend. We'll be sure to keep it clean.
Okay. And he walks over and he grabs a few keys, and his hands are still shaking, and he hands them over to you. So, Willikers, and then he kind of
Willikers.
Under
Yeah.
her breath, Sissel just mutters, "Wimp."
I thought you were gonna mutter Willikers.
Williker.
Willikers.
Also, I want to point out again that I don't know if it was intentional, but earlier when the guy freaked out initially, Alex just straight up said problem instead of problem in relation to. Yeah, you said problem like you were making a dog.
Oh
pun.
God.
I saw that you guys
It's the
were like
meow
making
game.
that joke, but I literally
Super
didn't
Troopers.
even notice that I missaid anything.
No, it was you who
Okay.
said it. I just wanted to point it out.
I guess I
That's so
did.
So you get your keys and you check in at your rooms, and they are very clean. They are very Spartan. The beds are well maintained with very clean, simple white sheets. It's very boring.
Well, it's a place to rest at least.
Well, at least we'll know it's clean. That guy
Wondering
has it taken care of.
I wonder if everybody else in the city is as paranoid as he is, or if
You
this
do
is
notice
just a
that there is
special-
also central plumbing,
Oh.
Yeah.
similar to Arcadia.
Oh,
Nice.
shit.
I mean, that's cool for you guys. I've spent most of my life shitting in the woods.
Yeah,
What?
more likely than you think.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
So-
now this is what I have.
There is actually running water in these places.
Well, there's no woods for you to shit in, so you're gonna
I
have
never
to...
thought about what Goff's first interaction with a toilet was, but it was probably pretty wild.
Ugh. And he presses the button.
He's probably he probably had to like embarrassingly ask someone like, how do I do this?
How do you want to do this?
How do you... Oh
And then
no.
they're like you just you shit in a bowl and then you push a lever and he was like, what?
Goff breaks the toilet. Starts overflowing.
Breaks
Anyway,
the lever off.
Okay.
He like instead of pushing it down, he like pulls it up and it just twists
Oh
off.
no!
Oh,
Oh.
Oh no!
It's one of those pole plungers, like the old-fashioned toilets, though.
Oh, okay.
okay.
It's not like a modern toilet.
He pulls
Oh,
and
he-
it breaks.
He pulls the cord off.
He pulls the entire cord off. Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So what are you doing at this point? You've got your little base of operations.
We should probably try.
Should we look for somebody in charge?
Yeah, do we know anything about who's in charge here?
No?
Well,
No. Is there like multiple
the
people? or one
companies are in charge.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have like a counselor or something, but
Do
like
they
we would have
form
to-
like some sort of company?
Company of companies.
Sorry.
Worry about it.
Company.
Do they form some sort of like?
Company committee.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know.
The PTA of.
What?
Calm down.
Do you remember? Do you remember the name of the company that Margram's working for?
No.
Oh shit!
No,
Never
we
asked.
didn't ask.
I thought-
Well,
I thought my mom told me.
No, she said in the letter that he was working for a company. And then you never asked.
We're so good, you guys.
That's like something I would have asked if I had known I didn't know. I could have sworn that I'd been told.
D&D
well.
speedrun tips. Remember to
If you have press A,
I
you
thought it was
can
like I
eventually go
asked
through the
where.
crankshaft door.
I thought it was that she said Dad was visiting him, and I thought,
Dad went in for something else.
wait, what was Dad
Wait.
doing?
It's-
Dad left for some other reason. He went to Crankshaft told a couple of weeks ago, didn't say why, just sort of, when he heard about the quarantine, he left immediately.
Dad's been on a hunt and hasn't been home in a few days.
Oh no.
Okay.
well, if we go find someone in charge, we can probably find out where Hooray brother is, and then maybe where Hooray's dad is.
First, maybe we can ask the friendly barkeep if he recognizes names.
You do what
Which
you want.
I-
What do you want to do?
I suppose I will go ask the friendly barkeep. I'll go back up to him.
Okay. As you approach, he's again sort of like staring off into the distance. He seems like he's really trying to. He wishes he could be anywhere but here. But then after
Aw.
a moment, he
Oh, buddy, don't I know it?
kind of looks towards you again and just sort of cracks a feigned smile again, like, "Well, welcome back,
What's your name,
Willikers.
friend?
Moveth.
Movus. Nice to meet you. I'm Hiraith.
Hi here, Rafe.
I was just wondering.
So what brings you to Crankshaft in this interesting time?
Sadly, not the best of reasons, but I am trying to find some people.
Well, this is a big city.
It is.
I'm not
Um,
sure I can help you, but I'll give it a shot.
You haven't happened to have heard anything about anybody from the Steel Song clan visiting? Specifically, my brother Margrim is working for a company in town, and also my father, Dor, also visited recently as well.
No, Steel Song, is that the Northern Steel Songs or the
Firepoint.
Firepoint? No, I'm afraid not.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
It's your first time to Crankshaft.
We never really made the trip when I was growing up.
Oh, you're missing a lot. You're missing some true wonders. And he
Seems
kind of makes a smile and he kind of like grinds his teeth a little bit.
Oh.
Oh,
It's sort of like the vibe you get is kind of like that
Underpaid tour
the-
guide.
the Undertale guy, you know.
Oh
at
my
the-
god.
burger-
Oh my god,
burger
burger pants!
oh, okay.
I can't go to hell, I'm all out of vacation days.
Oh no.
I'm just picturing this guy as like a dwarf with burger pants' face.
Now I'm just kind of looking at him with just like sympathy. If I was in the market for trying to find someone, is there some place you would know where there might be
Well-
help, or is it just a?
If they're a member of the city, then they're likely an employee of one of the companies. You'd probably need to find out which one they belong to, and you can ask for their archive files. But that's probably not something they give you. You'd have to be an employee to access those.
Oh my god.
I see. I.
Ellen just like whispers into her hearing, "We're not doing that."
I know. Now I'm just having social anxiety about how I'm going to have to go asking around when I could have asked a question. Okay.
Darkness, my old friend.
Thank you very much for your help.
Well, no problem. I'm sorry that I couldn't be more help.
You were perfectly fine. Thank you. And I guess we will leave.
Okay, you're gonna leave the tavern?
Yeah, that.
Okay. Alright. So you get out onto the main road of the second gear again and glance around yourself, and it's fairly bustling at this time of day. There's a lot of dwarves and gnomes moving around, seemingly they all look like they're wearing various different types of uniforms, different colors. They all look like they're in the middle of a workday.
Let's have Goff send descending to my mom and ask where the fuck my brother is. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean, I could.
Yeah, but
It would save a lot of time.
it would.
I'm just curious. Are clerics the only one who can learn sending?
No.
I mean, I can learn all kinds of fun stuff at level 10, but I'm not there yet.
What? I mean, I'm glad to help. I'm just curious why the one guy who's like elected
Sorcerers can also learn it.
who's elected to be indefinitely mute for his entire life is the one who's trying to message people all the time, like he's using a fucking AIM.
Wizards. Actually, no. You know what?
Hold
Hold on. Actually, I'm looking at this, and like various subclasses can learn it, but the main classes that learn it are cleric and wizard.
All right, okay. Do you want me to do that?
It would save time and save my sanity.
How about you write what I say,
You can
and then I
dictate.
say it.
Hi, Mom. It's Harive. By the way, what company is Margaret working for again? Question mark.
Okay, I'm gonna send that, but it's gonna be in Goff's inner
Hi, Mom. It's
I'm gonna send you a DM with the response.
Is that to me or to me?
To you. I'll send it to you on Discord.
Oh fuck!
We're getting a DM whisper. It's gonna be
Dear
good.
Whisper.
Now I'm scared. Can't believe we're just using poor Goff like a instant messenger.
Please stop using Goff like your personal telephone. Please let us get some better way of communicating with people across large distances. This is so like resource consuming.
Lady Gaga's telephone. In kids'
Okay,
class.
there you go.
Oh fuck!
What?
That's why I wanted to do it that way. I wanted the reveal to come from you.
Does Goff just go? Mm.
Oh fuck!
I can't believe you've done this.
So yeah, suddenly Goff just opens his mouth. Oh fuck! I can't believe she's done this.
I can't believe she's done this.
This Goff is like he nervously relays the message, and then he waits a second, and then you just see him like stand up straight and like kind of like and then you hear him just go.
Oh no! What did she say?
He writes it down. It says, well, I won't write this down, but this is I guess it's technically only something that the only Goff heard, and he's not going to write this down, but she said that he had a lovely voice and he should talk more. Yeah. That's he does not tell you this. He just
Oh,
writes down
no.
Magrim works for the Agera Hand Company.
Okay. Thank you, Goff.
That- And in case you don't remember, Agera is the company that the one guy belonged to that delivered our friends to Medici. Remember the guy in the forest who was leading the caravan?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
the
sure
same guy.
is.
It's
the same
also
company.
the name that you heard from William LaCroix about where Ellen's parents went to seek out.
Oh shit! Wait,
Oh,
really?
shit.
Mhm.
Thinking face emoji.
And the assassin is probably employed by one of these companies and is in the crankshaft hold right now.
Also tried to have Ellen kill.
Well, the thing is, it's funny is that yeah, technically that, but they literally never had laid a fucking single thing on her, but they
I
sure did
know.
on everybody
They
else
sure did nearly kill me.
and me.
And
Yeah.
Sissel. Like, pretty
Yeah,
much everyone.
everybody
Roscoe was
except-
fine.
Yeah.
Everybody just got massively dunked on.
Well, I guess we're out to find the Agura. What was it?
A girly.
The Agera Hand Company.
Oh, is
Agera
it
Hand
Jera? I'm
Company.
sorry.
Yeah.
Before we leave, I'm gonna actually pop my head back on in the tavern and be like, "Hey, you know where we can find the Agera Hand Company?"
Yeah, they're one of the companies there along the northern wall. That's where all of their front-facing headquarters are, as well as the committee chambers where they all meet.
All right, thank you. You've been so helpful. I'm gonna give him a wave and then
Gives you a thumbs
pop
up.
back out.
This poor guy.
All right, let's go to the northern wall then.
Okay. You take some time to circumnavigate the various gears, and eventually you get to one of the bridges that leads along the northern-facing wall. And what you see there, carved into the rock face of the cavern wall itself, in the central portion of the wall, basically at the northern cardinal direction, you see a very well-carved entrance with what looks to be a number of columns that hold up a sort of like a Parthenon-style entryway. There's a number of relief carvings that are carved into the building itself, all depicting what appear to be moments of dwarven or gnomish ingenuity and history. There is what appears to be like almost like a garden or a fountain on a platform sticking out in front of this facade. And then all around it, you see about I think three. Let me check. Yep, three on each side of this larger opening. What appear to be smaller offices, headquarters, that correspond to the various companies of the hold, the major companies.
I see. Are there
I'm sorry?
Is there a way to tell which one is which?
You can just look at them individually. You'll see
Sure.
if you want to look at. You do find the Jerahan acquisitions.
Okay, there we go.
headquarters. They are the outermost one on the right side. So you pass it by a couple more of the companies, and you make your way over to the Jerahan acquisitions offices. And as you step, you go inside?
Yeah.
Okay. You step inside. You see a number of dwarven men and women and gnomish men and women who are bustling about behind what appears to be a large glass wall. And they're all wearing a very trim black cloth uniform with gray, I guess, like, what are they called? Like, they're basically like the lining is gray around it. And they all have little insignias emblazoned on their breast. Right before this large glass wall that you're seeing them all moving around in, and on the other side of this, there appear to be a number of cordoned off offices with desks at them that they seem to be working at, working with papers, that kind of thing. Before all this is a large desk where you see a young dwarven woman sitting. She's wearing a similar uniform. Her hair is up in her blonde hair is up in a neat bun, and she seems to be typing on something.
I will approach her.
As you approach, she looks up at you and she gives you a very wide, very fake, very corporate smile.
boy.
She says, Good afternoon. Welcome to Arcadia Acquisitions. What brings you here today?
I'm here looking for some.
I'm doing insight check on.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
An insight roll.
Yeah, the old spicy insight. Right?
Well, I mean, if
Good
Mel
old-
rolls, he'll probably beat me, but
Insight.
I have a 20, not natural.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
even
So
bother.
you're going to be running this running insight check on her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She says, "Do you have an appointment?"
I don't. Not sure if I would need one. I'm looking for Margrim Steelsong.
I'm afraid any information about our employees would need to be passed through corporate. Would you like to make an appointment?
Oh, bureaucracy.
Goff just like in the background just sighs deeply. He does not. All this business is so lame.
I am an artisan. I also hate all this red tape, this yellow and red tape. Sure, I'll make an appointment.
Very well. You can understand with the current goings on in the city, it might be some time. I can pencil you in for tomorrow morning.
Time is kind of a sensitive subject. He's my brother. Is it really that sensitive a thing? I haven't seen him in quite a while.
I'm afraid rules are rules.
There's no other way I could ask you to have something a little bit sooner than that. Didn't take long.
No, I'm sorry. That is how Arcadia Hand Acquisitions works. We must adhere to a tight schedule. There are a number of people who are going to be meeting with our company in the near future, and we must stick to the appointments as they're written here. And she taps a small notebook.
All right, that for now that works then.
Very well. May I have your name?
You write Steel Song.
You see her write down. She says, "All right, very well. You are scheduled for a 9:30 a.m. appointment tomorrow morning."
Do we have a clock?
I mean, I assume there's clocks around.
Okay. I just. Do we have a way of? Yeah. Okay.
Goff probably knows what time it is. Just
Time
in
to kick
general.
some ass. No.
Wow, yeah, definitely what he was thinking.
We should also ask how the government around here works.
Goff just seems.
Do,
Can we
do
ask
you
someone
want to ask
else?
that? Yeah.
Is this the right place to ask?
This is like a business. I'm not sure. I want to
Yeah,
waste time answering that question.
that's true. Let's go and ask a guard.
I feel like I'm in the dentist office making an appointment.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I'm gonna. Nate, are there
Yeah,
guards?
There are a
patrolling
number
the
of
streets?
crankshaft regulars that are patrolling the street, including this area.
Okay, I'm gonna pull one aside and say, "Hi, sorry. How exactly does your if we need to speak to someone in charge in government decisions, who would that be?"
Well, you would want to speak with the magistrate that calls the board of directors.
And where would we arrange that?
He points toward the central location, that central building.
Of course. Thank you.
You'll just want to speak to Kalig. She is the one in charge.
Kalig, thank you so much. I think we'll have to show the signet ring again. Hooray.
Yeah, they're not really going to want to speak with us without it. It proves that we're at least moderately official.
Yes. Let's go.
So they go.
You proceed toward the central building on this edge of the city, and you head underneath the Parthenon-style awning, heading inside, and you are greeted by just pure ostentatiousness. It is a large, lush red carpet that leads up past a marble, white and black checkered floor. There is a fountain right in the middle as you get in. Various plastic or artificial-looking plants that are potted and scattered around the lobby area. There's a grand spiraling staircase that circles up to a second-floor landing, and you notice a very ornate and gilded reception desk at which sits a small gnomish girl. She seems to be like on a little booster seat.
Cute.
Hello.
This gnomish girl, she seems probably in her early 20s. She's got a fiery orange hair that's pulled back in a ponytail, and she's wearing thin spectacles. And she looks up at you with these hazel eyes, and she smiles, and she says, "Oh, welcome! Welcome to the board of directors. What can I help you with?"
Hi. I was wondering if you would be able to set up a meeting with... Was the name Kurlog? Is that the right name that I'm reading?
Kalig, yeah.
Kurlog.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, hi. We're here from... I guess we're representing Arcadia, right? Yeah. No, we're here representing, I guess, Chancellor Anna from, and she sent us, I suppose, in part to help you deal with your current problem.
Well, that's very kind of Arcadia to consider our affairs. But I'm afraid that I can't do much except call a meeting of the board of directors. There's a lot of sensitive information. She kind of like leans forward clandestinely and like she shouldn't be really telling you this, but
Mm-hmm.
she says there's a lot of sensitive proprietary information. They're not really gonna be willing to accept help unless you sign an employment agreement with one
What
of
is
them.
with
at
this
least.
employment shit?
It's proprietary.
Capitalism. Sorry.
Yeah. Crankshaft. The final boss is capitalism.
Oh, oh my god.
All right. Thank you. She doesn't.
I could call them, but I mean, maybe you'd want to kind of look them over for yourself. If there's one that strikes your fancy, you might want to speak to a representative, and they might be able to help you get around the city a little better.
Definitely something to consider. Thank you. When can this meeting be called?
I can, if it's urgent business from the realm, I can schedule it within the next hour.
Oh. I turn to everyone
I
else.
just need proof of affiliation.
Hooray.
I produce the signet ring.
She looks at it for a moment. Oh wow.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh, the horror
Yeah.
playlist is now sort of playing warbly gorbles.
Yeah, creepy music.
Is that
Look,
is that like
Scared the
muted
shit out of
quality?
me.
this shit was like an hour long. I was not going to listen to the full thing. I could change it to another if it's really that
No, it's
bothersome.
fun. It was funny.
I have other ones. Hard too.
Horror 2.
I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
She was looking at the signet ring, and she said,
Yeah.
"Oh wow."
She's oh wow, this is definitely the Chancellor's ring. Okay then. If you want me to call them, I can get them here within an hour.
Great.
That would be great.
Great. And feel free to tour. And again, if any of them strike your fancy, try to speak with a representative, and maybe they can work something out with you.
Is a representative different from the board of people we're meeting?
You don't know that.
Okay. So many terms and people,
Who did
rules and politics. I sink into my chair.
Now you know why I
the
never wanted to come here.
the old chancellor's notes didn't specify who he gave
Yeah.
gave the key to, did it?
All it said. Hold on. It said something very specific.
It said
did.
the locations, I think. Like one to the.
It said a little bit more than that. It said.
Here, there it is.
One to the Blue Peaks, the hall of the company, steel singing upon the anvil.
Mm-hmm.
Still singing upon the.
Wait, all of the. Well, I mean, the Steel Song connection's there.
Okay, so at this point, Calig has gone off to make a few calls, I guess. Messages, send off a few messages, and you are left to your own devices for the next hour.
There aren't any other steel songs here, are there? I asked Ray.
I mean, didn't the inn guy mention that there's a northern clan? Did I recognize that?
There's no Northern Clan. The guy was talking at his ass.
Oh, okay.
It's literally just you guys.
How dare he? But yeah, no, it's just us.
Hmm.
We could explore. We could get into trouble.
What's around this room?
It's just a very nice lobby and reception area. Marble floors with carpeting, throw rugs. There's nice leather upholstered sofas, a small fountain, paintings on the wall, oil paintings with what appear to be various former directors and current.
There's just something so egotistical about having paintings while working at the place you're at. It's just.
Such hubris, says Goff.
Yeah. Thanks, Goff.
Right, Captain Holt.
No, Verna's not here.
So what are you doing?
I guess we're just waiting, right?
Yeah.
You can do what you want.
We have an hour. It's time to go. Let's explore.
I mean, how
Let's
far are
put our
we?
noses where
How
they
far
should
away
be.
from the shops?
The shops, it'd probably take you about 15 minutes to walk over there.
Go there. Look if they sell anything cool. I mean, maybe not anything special beyond what we've already seen in other shops.
Yeah, it's probably gonna. You pass the market stalls on the way here. It's typically the same kind of goods you'd see anywhere. Nothing particularly fancy.
Hmm. I mean, I don't really know what we can do.
I kind of want to go outside, and I don't know how tall the cavern ceiling is, but
The cavern is huge. Like you
Oh,
don't
baby.
even see. You don't even see the top.
cool.
It just goes up into the darkness.
I'm gonna fly some distance, like on the broom,
Oh
over
my
the gears, and I just want to see, like, just take stock of the area and see if anything stands out to me. Also,
Okay.
I want to see if there's like any like over the edge areas that lead downward.
Sure. There's a number of them. You could fly down anytime you wanted if you really wanted to.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Oh God. Okay.
Be right back.
Okay. You do notice. Give me a perception roll.
Yeah. Perception. Perception.
You do notice there's a number of guard presences all around, and you feel like you should probably make this a little less obvious.
Okay. I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself then.
Okay. So you cast invisibility over yourself. Your body and your broom fade from view, and you are now free to dive down if that is what you so wish.
Yeah.
Okay. You begin sailing downward toward the floor of the hold. And as you're doing so, and it's kind of difficult for you to see because it is dark and you don't have dark vision.
Shit. Memed on by human
There
traits
are-
again.
There are a number of there's some ambient illumination from the central mechanisms from those green runes. As you dive down lower, you go down probably a good to the bottom seems to reach about another 350 feet. It goes down pretty far. And as you're going down, you're passing a number of other platforms with gears on them. Large gears again that appear to be more residential areas. As you get down even further to a larger series of gears, that these ones are absolutely massive. They almost fill the entirety of the space in the cavern. You do a kind of a once over around the district, and you find what appears to be what look like barracks or storehouses for mining or quarries, as well as what appears to be a heavily fortified area that might be a prison of some sort. Finally, you keep flying down even further to the base of the hold, and what you see down there is thousands of people
Oh.
shambling around, ripping their heads in pain, shouting and mumbling incoherently. There are a number of what look to be white medical tents that have been set up. Also, as you skirt around the edge of the cavern, you find 6 individual openings in the rock face that look like similar entrances like the vault that you saw underneath Wild Hollow.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Wait, like, are the entrances like in the same area as the crowd of people? Like
Yes.
they're all near these.
They're all around the exterior, and there are just people wandering the streets down here, almost like they're clearly not undead. They're just it's like a madness.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Alright, I'm gonna go back up.
That's just like, all right, that's enough.
That's enough of that!
My curiosity has been sated for now.
For now. That was productive.
You did notice all of the lower tiers of the city, the residential areas, the quarries, and everything. They're completely abandoned. They're dark. No one's living there right now. Everyone seems to be on this upper platform.
Got a real Subnautica vibe with this music or this background noise as you were describing. It's just going deeper and deeper, and it was darker. There was like runes glowing in it. Very
Hey.
Subnautica.
Where do you think I got the idea for that aesthetic
I
from?
realized that earlier.
It's literally
Like,
those things.
I was like, oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So
Where's all the peepus?
Well,
Yeah.
I found the peepus.
I found the peepus.
Sissel certainly found it.
Cecil
Okay, so
lands
you fly
on
back up.
and she just says, "Well, I found the peepus."
Yeah, okay,
so-
you fly back up to your group, and you land. They don't see you land because you're invisible.
Yeah, I'm gonna just
Goff
sort
is
of like
kinda-
sidle up behind them and drop invisibility and be like, so I saw some fucked up shit.
Goff probably jumps because he probably realized that you vanished and then was like grabbing his head the whole time. Was like, oh god, where'd she go? And then and so he's like probably still worried about it. And then when you drop it, he probably like jumped and was like, ugh. His rowdy adopted daughter just cannot be contained.
Yeah, you're gonna need a leash for this one.
Mel has to hide.
Oh, gross.
Back.
Back.
Son of a boat. Okay. So you came back up now, and you're revealed yourself back to your party.
So I basically convey what I saw.
Okay.
My
That's
guess is, I should also
God.
mention that our assassin guy was definitely in the lower levels, so...
Well, this is one of the most populated cities in the entire world. It made sense that, you know, that's not really represented here, so it seems like that's where they're keeping those that might be afflicted.
Might be is
That are
a little bit of a light term for it. There is
these
a
shambling
lot of
masses,
people
the
shambling.
disease. Ugh.
So that's probably our destination if we're gonna find the siphon key.
Yeah, I started to wonder how we're going to keep ourselves away from infect.
The
How
guy
this
said it was
works.
bloodborne. Looks at camera. What did
Sissel looks into the camera for a straight minute.
every time someone does that like joke, I just think of that fucking Vine where the guy does that
And he
his friends
just
are like,
stares.
what are you looking at? There's nothing there.
Yeah, I love that one.
I'm just thinking of that one cunt that you'll within too, where they do a title drop apropos of nothing,
Oh yeah,
and
I
then just
remember
stare at the
that,
camera
yeah.
for a minute.
Mhm.
God.
Maybe there's evil within too. Stare at the camera.
So is there anything else that you wish to do while you wait?
I think so. We can't really like go out and get into a lot of trouble in 1 hour.
That's what you think.
Well, not any
Yeah,
trouble.
so
that
you were
would-
gone for roughly 20 minutes, I would
Yeah.
say.
I mean, like not something that would carry over.
Quitter talk.
Okay. So you just want to wait out an hour and go back? Is that what you want to do?
Unless you guys
Hello.
have anything else you want to do.
I have nothing to do.
Okay. So you just want to go back after an hour. I just need confirmation about this.
I guess that's
Yeah,
what we're doing,
I
yeah.
don't,
Okay.
I don't have anything else.
Okay. You head back to the director's chamber, and as you enter, you see Kaleg. She has gotten out of her chair, and she is waiting for you. And she has a small itinerary in her hands, and she says, "Okay, I'm going to bring you into the director's chambers. We've gathered the board." And I've made them aware that you are representing Arcadia. I would expect one of you to do the speaking, and be aware that not all the companies see eye to eye, so not all of them are going to be friendly to you.
It's a shame that Mal has to hide.
Would you like a briefing before you go in?
Sure.
I just know that out of character, I'm getting kind of speed. So if I have to talk, I'm not sure how conscious I'm going to be to make my words make sense if I have to do a lot of talk.
You're getting kind of what? Sleepy?
Spacey. Like,
Okay.
I'm having a hard time focusing.
Okay.
I just don't
Okay.
want to, like, fuck something up because I'm. Got words bad.
Okay. So that was a no? You just want to go in?
I mean, a briefing. I think any information we could use to our advantage.
Well, are you familiar with the 6 companies?
I shake my head
Okay.
because I guess I'm the one talking to the no now.
All right. Okay. Well, there's 6 companies with 6 board of directors that operate the daily business here at Crankshaft Hold. We have, first of all, the Precursor Institute. They're an archaeological society. You'll recognize their leader, Mr. Needlenose. He's sort of an older gnomish gentleman. You'll also be dealing with another gnomish gentleman, Mr. Blastfuse. He's the head of Powder Keg Holdings. They're the largest gun manufacturer in the realm. As well as a representative of the Triumvirate. I believe today would be Sagan Durandare. The Triumvirate is a collection of the 3 most powerful smithing families in the realm. The Durandares, the Stout Grips, and the Flamesworns. There's the ARC, the Arcane Research Cooperative. They're involved in magical investment for profit. That would be led by the dwarf Brand Stormwhistle. There is Ojera Hand Acquisitions, a relative newcomer in the last 10 years, and they're run by a human brother and sister, Ola and Cole Ojera.
And the names.
Ola and Cole Ojera. And lastly, there's another fairly new company with some outside funding from Arcadia itself. It's Highland Futures. They're involved in future technology, and that would be, and she checks her notes, Wendell Thistlegear is another a gnomish gentleman. They'll be the ones you'll be speaking to today.
Alright.
Okay. So she motions to you and allows you entry, and as you step into the boardroom, you stand now in a large circular room, and there is a massive picture. It's sort of like those Senate committee hearings where you have a big just podium just stretched around the corner, the outer edge of the room, and it's raised higher up, and there's a bunch of people sitting at them with little name plates. So as you enter the room, you come in and you see 6 people all arrayed around this room with little name placards on the desks in front of them, and a gentleman in a gnomish gentleman who is wearing an old striped suit, and on his placard it says Chairman Needlenose on it. He's got sort of bushy white hair, large bulbous nose, and big spectacles. And he speaks and he says, "Well, I've been told that you've come from Arcadia. Please, what business brings you here?"
Hello.
Hello? Did we lose? Hello? Did we lose everyone?
Hi.
I'm
here.
here, but I'm not a character that can really respond to this.
I mean, I tried to say it earlier and I put it in the chat. I
Oh,
don't think
yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
before going to a big conversation. I don't think I'm like in a space right now where I can do a whole lot of talking.
Yeah. Yeah, where is Arcadia?
Right.
What brings you here, my dear?
We're here
Should we
to-
just
What?
should we just name drop it?
Should we keep going if Alex is like I'm
If you want to stop, I can stop.
I'm not feeling really well.
Okay, we'll call it and we will pick it up next time.
yeah I mean it is on the tail end of when we normally stop, and I just
Yeah,
kind of-
it's like...
I'm kind of tired. I mean, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of communicating with these folks anyway, but
Okay.
yeah, I think it's probably better when we're fresh to have a big debate with a bunch of business.
Capitalists.
Diplomacy.
Yeah, a bunch of capitalists.
The Danganronpa trial scene.
Oh no.
Alright, thank you everybody else.
Oh, hope you feel
Bye.
better.
Yeah, I
Bye.
hope you feel better.